What's up, people? Here we are again on Saturday night for What the Fuck's Supposed to be Wednesday. I've given up. I don't think that's probably ever going to happen again, judging by the way that my life is going and this work that I'm doing. So I'm glad everybody can just show up when it's scheduled. I'm not even going to be picky. What's up? Yeah, we got 25 questions as usual for this show. And for those of you who just wandered in because you said, oh, look, a live stream. I don't know what's going on. This is a show that we've been doing for years. And it used to be on Tuesday, then switched to Wednesday, then now it's just when it shows up. But basically, people send in their questions in advance. My cousin and I work as a team. She goes into the filtered inbox and pulls out a selection of questions, puts them into a document for me, and then she emails it to me. It has a cover sheet on it with the date. Let me see if I can. Oh, there it is. It's got the date and what it is. It's supposed to be Wednesday, like I said, and how many questions it is. So I don't see the questions until I start reading them to you. That's the surprise element of the show. And because I have 30 plus years of experience in this field, I can pretty much answer the questions off the cuff. Sometimes I forget stuff, or sometimes I'm, go down a different path. But what you need to do, if you wrote in and you hear your question, your question's going to be in the show tonight. Not only listen to me, but take a look at the chat on YouTube, because we have a loyal squad here. That's what they call themselves, a squad, who will also augment my answers with their comments. Maybe they live in that area and they know, some resources or something that I don't know. So, between the two areas, you should get a full and complete answer to your question. And that's how we work here. So see, that most of these people have been around here for years. Some of them came from my other website from the 90s, and they've been a follower of this channel, of this platform, rather. Let me put it that way, because we've gone through AOL. That's where I started. And then to the web, and then to Blog Talk Radio for like 7 or 8 years or something like that. I was there for quite a while. And then back to the web, and then to YouTube. So, they've followed me through every single one of those transitions, and they're still here now. So they have a very long history with knowing how I think. So they're really good at coming up with stuff and saying, well, Deb, you forgot to say this. And you forgot that. So pay attention to them too. Okay, let's start with question number 1 of 25, as usual. Female, 22 to 27 age group. She's Latina from El Paso, Texas. Summary of issue: am I being selfish by moving out? Hey, ladies, I'm 25 and I'm still living at home. Ever since I was younger, my parents would have me stuck at home, and I wasn't allowed to go out with friends or go on dates except on rare occasions. I basically held the house together at a young age, doing all the cleaning, as well as driving my younger siblings around to sports and friends' houses. Ever since I was 16, I'd even do the grocery shopping. During the 2020 to 2021 years, any parents made me stay my parents rather, made me stay at home 24/7 because of COVID. And I went ballistic when I got a job during that time. They always had some kind of control over me. They have talked me into ending relationships, friendships, and convinced me to quit jobs. I realize this is my fault, but when you're young, you don't really know any better. As I've written into my 20s, I've been wanting to move out. Every time I bring up moving out, my parents shut me down and say, "You don't need to do that or you'll regret it." They become very agitated when I mention moving out, and I really just want my freedom to do what I want to do. Today, I went and looked at a rental house, and of course, they're upset. Obviously, I don't want to be upset my parents, but I just want a life of my own, and living with them will just hold me back. Them being upset with me trying to move out makes me feel like I'm being selfish. Is this the case? My younger sibling has been on their own for a few years now, and that doesn't seem to be a problem. My parents also became agitated when I talked to certain family members or go out for New Year's on 2024. I went to another state with my friend, and all I heard from my parents when I got back was how upset they were that I went somewhere and wasn't at home. Can you help me? Yes. Move in silence, though. See, the fact that they knew what you was doing, you got a big ass mouth. So you telling on yourself and giving them way too much information about your life. They don't need to know all of that. When you go out the door, they're gonna say, "Where are you going?" Lie. What, are you 25? Okay, and the day that you move out, have your shit ready to go. Really, I mean, other than what you could sneak out the house before you actually move out, that's what I would do. Have friends come over and give them stuff to take, right? So you don't leave with like boxes of stuff. You just walk out the door, right? Because you don't really need much other than your clothes and maybe some photos or your phone and stuff like that. I mean, what kind of stuff could you really have accumulated by living with your parents? You don't have anything yet. You don't have like furniture and all that kind of stuff. They provided all of that. So you leave all that there. You walk out the door with what you got on your back and what you have given to your friends to take out in the way of clothes or whatever that you've also bought, cosmetics, that kind of stuff. Okay. That's all you do. And then you move into a place, and ideally, you wouldn't even tell them where you moved to. They just, you're just not there. You're going to have to do it that way because I just have never heard anything like this. It's like they're keeping you prisoner, like you're a prisoner of war or something. They're going to monitor your every movement and, limit your friends. It's like an abusive domestic violence type of relationship where they cut you off from the world so that they can just control you. This is really sad, but I'm glad that you have enough fortitude to, fight back a little bit and look at moving out. Stop talking so much, though. Don't tell them shit about what your plans are, and what you're trying to do and all that kind of stuff. That's stupid. That's where you're messing up. You're letting them know too much about what your affairs are and what your plans are. Stop talking. They don't need to know that you looked at a rental house. Why did you tell them that? Stuff like that, you doing too much. You move in silence. Learn to imprint that on your brain and stop telling your parents everything that you do and want to do. It's not their business. You're a grown ass woman now. It's not like you're a minor child. You've grown. You got a job. You can support yourself and move out. Then do it. So get everything lined up and in place. Keep the rental agreement or any documentation that you sign with a friend. You don't bring it home. Don't bring it home. And then on the day that you choose to do that, you walk out the door and then you just never come back. Leave that key in a place where they won't see it right away and go. That's what you do. Okay. I'm just trying to say, what my t-shirt says? My brother sent me this. He found it at some like a flea market. In LA, how they have those alleys where it's like all the like Asian people that have these booths and stuff. It's like a flea market. He sent me this t-shirt that says, "I'm just what the fucking my way through life." That's what the t-shirt says. And he says, "I know that's the name of your show. So I sent this to you. See, I'm gonna send you this shirt." And he did. Like, oh, this is great. This is perfect. All right. So poor thing. That's terrible. I can't even imagine. My parents, probably didn't really want me to go, but they didn't try to stop me either. Isn't that hilarious? And it's like he knew I would wear it. So I'm glad I showed. I'm going to take a screenshot and I'm going to send it to him. Let's move on to question number 2. This is a young lady in the 20 to 34 age group. She's Filipino and she's from the Philippines. So I have an issue. Is it a good idea for me to reconnect with my ex? I'm 32 from the Philippines and I'm moving to Europe soon. I have an ex-boyfriend from Germany who I met while we were backpacking in Vietnam about 5 years ago. He is 35. We were together for 2.5 years and traveled quite a bit together. He even visited me and my family here in the Philippines. Sadly, some things happened. His mother died while we were traveling, and our backpacking days had to end. We tried, but we just were not able to sustain the long-distance relationship and decided to break up. It wasn't a messy breakup or anything, but I have a really painful one, and it took me a long time to recover. Anyway, recently I had an opportunity to take my master's degree in Poland, and lately I'm having these thoughts of wanting to reconnect with him, but not in a romantic way. To be honest, I have not thought about him for some time now. He doesn't have social media, and we immediately stopped comforting each other after the breakup. So I'm more of just curious on how he is doing. I still have his WhatsApp and his email. Do you think it's a good idea to contact him after 3 years? Thanks for the advice. I mean, you can if you want to, as long as you can do it with absolutely zero expectations for how he's going to respond to you. Because you have to prepare yourself for the fact in 3 years you haven't had any contact with this man at all. He might be married. He might be married and have a kid or two. What you have is his WhatsApp and all of that, and his email might be out of service because he's moved on. He doesn't want to keep contact with anybody from his past, out of respect for his new relationship with his new wife. You have to be prepared for all of this stuff. You might have to be prepared for the fact that, even though he may not be married or whatever, he still don't want to be bothered with you because you part of the past. That's why he hasn't reached out. He moved on. So, I mean, if you can do it without any expectations and without getting any feelings involved or rejection and, what he might, could say to you and all this kind of stuff, which doesn't sound like that's going to be the case to me, reading between the lines of how you wrote this letter. Only then would I say that would be okay. But the way that you wrote this and the way that the detail that you went into, I'm feeling like you still hoping for a reconnect with this man since you're going to be so close to him in Poland and whatnot. And I'm thinking that in spite of the fact that you say you don't want any further romantic involvement with him, you actually have a little glimmer of hope that that's how that would turn out, that he'd be so happy to hear from you. It'd be like a fairy story in a Disney movie. So can I say that it would be a smart move for you? No, I cannot. Because you don't exude that kind of energy where you could handle it. But you hard-headed, I can tell. So you're going to go ahead and get your face cracked. Go ahead and do that. Sometimes women just have to learn, when shit is over, it's over. Bury it. Don't put flowers on the grave. Don't visit the grave. Don't think about it. That's what I recommend people do. When it's over, it's over. When you break up, that person is dead to you. But most of y'all don't seem to be able to do that. You want to hang on and check on him and stalk his social media and, under the guise of being friends with his friends and, friends with his mother and all kind of little trickerations y'all be doing to try to figure out how you can get around this man and breathe the same air as him and look at him and stuff and talk to him. Like I said, with my exes, I wouldn't give a fuck if Jaws came on land and ate them or the aliens sucked them up took them to Mars or somewhere. That'd be like right down my alley. I just don't care about my exes. I don't think about them 1 second because I gave them enough of my time and energy in the past. They were stupid, and so they don't get any more. Me thinking about you and having you in my world and, caring about you and being curious about you and, asking you questions and talking to you and stuff, that's a fucking privilege. And if you violated it in any kind of way, or you don't want it anymore, like you, because it wasn't an ugly breakup, but obviously since 3 years he ain't contacted you, That means he didn't want it anymore. But here you go insisting on interjecting yourself into his life anyway. So like I said, to me, that's a stupid thing for you to do. Women always want to do that though. You always want to be like, I'm curious. I want to see what he's doing and stuff. And then you get your feelings hurt. So you go ahead and do that. I'm telling you, if my exes, I find if they even breathe in the same air I'm breathing, I get mad. Like, you done cootied up my lungs and shit. Get out of here. I just don't want to be bothered with them at all. Let's move on. Question number 3 of 25. This is a young lady in the 28 to 34 age group. She's European from the UK. The female in question is 65 and plus. That's as high as our form goes. I'm not trying to say, I'm 97 and 65 and over is in one block. Summary of issue. My mom is aging physically and she hates it so much. How do I support her? I'm so sad for my mom right now. I think she's beautiful, of course, and she was stunning in her youth. Tall, slim, tanned, fit, and gorgeous face and thick curly hair. Now she's put on some weight due to having 2 broken ankles in the past, a stationary job, and underactive thyroid. I wish she could exercise more, and my dad and I always encourage her to find something she likes doing, both for her mental health and for her to lose some weight. But she hates how much weight she carries, though she's only around the size AU 14, 16, yet won't do anything about it, just complain. She's fully gray now, and her face is getting quite lined. She is mortified about her gray hair and honestly thinks she looks hideous with it and isn't ready to stop dyeing it. She looks in the mirror when she has no makeup and her hair is back, and she looks so sad. She looks at me and tells me how she looks and how I won't understand about how awful it is until I'm her age. I hope I don't speak about myself the way that she does when I'm old and lined, and I hope to have the courage to let myself gradually go gray naturally. She laughs and brushes off anything I say, and I feel like my own youth discredits anything I can say. She's also sad because I've moved out recently and moved over an hour away and see my parents less than I ever have. She misses me dreadfully, and I know she loves me more than anything in this world. It just makes me so sad to see her hating on her aging self so much when there's no escaping it for any of us. How can I help my aging mom to love herself and take pride in her looks as they change? What you can do is tell your Mom, I went and got a life insurance policy on you because since you don't like getting old, that means you're going to die at this age, and I want to make some profit off of it. That's what you do to snap her out of this pity party that she's having. And you say, the only way that you're not going to get older is if you die young. So that sounds to me like you're ready to check up out of here so that you can be a cute corpse. So that's why I got me a life insurance policy so I can benefit from you when you off yourself. That's what you tell your mother. And I know it's hard for you to understand the psychology here, but you have to flip the script on her to snap her out of this mental state that she's in, where she thinks she's going to get pity because she's aged. The only way you don't age, like I said, and this is a fact, is you die young. Either you die young or you keep living and you age. Those are your only 2 choices. Now, what you should do, like this is what I did when I was in my 20s. I started using moisturizers and taking care of my facial skin. So no, I don't have any lines. I mean, it's, a little puffy here and there, but that's mainly because of my alcohol intake. But lines and wrinkles and stuff, I don't have those because I started when I was in my 20s, taking care of skin before they even had a chance to develop. That's what you have to do, using sunblock and stuff when I went outside. I love to be outside, but I was the only Black person putting on sunblock. And they were like, what do? You think you white? It's just not. And I'm like, And so I look at them now and they got, like I said, lines and wrinkles and stuff. And Deborah has none because I took care of my skin. Those of you listening to this, if you're in your 20s, start now. If in your 30s, it's still not too late, start now. You have to take care of your skin when you're young if you want to keep it looking like that when you're old. You also have to eat right. So you don't smoke, you don't drink too much, you get your rest, you drink a lot of water and eat nutritious food. No junk food, no fast food. You eat collard greens, you cook your own food at home or other people cook it for you. This restaurants, I mean, they're good, they're convenient, but it's not the kind of thing that you should be eating every day. That takeout and high salt and high fat, that fucks your face up. That messes your skin up. I didn't eat like that. I cooked my food and I still do. Every once in a while I'll DoorDash. But for the most part, I cook what I eat. And I divide it up with my other single friends and we contribute, we cook. I'm the cook when they buy the ingredients and I cook it and then we divvy it up. That's how we do. Because we're all single. That's how you have to live your life if you don't want to end up like her mother. Looking in the mirror at 65, thinking, oh my God, my life is over and my face is all fucked up. That's what you have to do. And it's work. You got to think about it. You have to plan in advance. Don't just depend on your youthful good looks to get through life because they're going to fade. I was aware of that. My grandmother always reminded us of that. You ain't going to look like this for the rest of your life. You better take care of yourself. And I was like, ooh, wait a minute. And so that's what I did. My grandmother, my dad's mother, she always took care of her skin. She used cocoa butter. And that woman was 93 and she had not one wrinkle on her face, not one. Hair long and dark and thick. So, there's something to be said about it, but you got to start when you're young. And then you're maintaining your looks versus trying to go get them from a surgeon or, some last minute thing like that. Then you done fucked yourself all up. Do it now. Okay. So your mother didn't do that. And especially when you're not Black. Okay. You don't have no melanin. You really got to take care of your skin. Because, that's the phrase is Black don't crack. And it's kind of true. It's hard. We don't look our age because of the melanin in our skin. If you are Caucasian and Asian and you got that fair white skin, you got to do extra work to take care of your skin so that you don't look old when the time you hit 40. You be looking like a 70-year-old Black woman and y'all only be 40 years old. It's shocking to me. And they want to be asking you, oh my God, how old are you? I'm like, why you need to know that? Well, because you just look so young. And I'm thinking that you look old as fuck, but I'm not going to say that to them. And I'm like, well, how old are you? Well, I'm 42. And I'm thinking, Geesh. When I was 42, I looked like I was still in high school. So I don't understand it. But that's what they do. I'm just saying. Beauty is not necessarily vanity. Beauty, I mean, you as a woman, well, any human being, you want to look in the mirror and like what you see. That's just a human thing. And saying, if a woman is used to looking a certain way, she wants to still look that way as long as possible. There's nothing vain about that. That's just realistic. You like how you look. Of course, you want to look in the mirror and keep liking what you look like. I mean, that's why I never did street. What's the word I could use that won't get banned? Pharmaceuticals. I don't do all that. You know why? Because I saw the people that did it and they looked toe up, teeth missing, like they had like checkerboard teeth. Their skin was all fucked up, hair all fucked up, eyes all looking crazy. And, when you see that, and I knew I didn't want to look like that, right? Because looking at them was scary. Then why would I do what they did, which would mean I would end up looking like them? You can see it online. They have these galleries of people like pre and post meth use. They look it's scary. They're taken by police departments during their arrest, like, the first arrest, the 5th arrest, the 10th and 12th arrest and stuff like that. It's amazing how toe up these people look. I'm not trying to go out like that. I want to be a cute corpse. This is important to me. I like, that's why I like when I go around and I see people I haven't seen since elementary school, they know who I am. You know why? Because I still look the same. A little older, gray hair and stuff like that, but generally, I still look the same as I looked in 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade. My face is the same. So, that's what happened with your mother. What you can do is find out how much a facelift would cost. If you working and stuff, or you got any siblings, don't sound like you do, sound like you're only child. But maybe your dad can help chip in and get your mother a facelift. They have all kinds of technology now where, you don't have to stay in the hospital and all that. Just like mini facelifts and stuff like that. That might make her feel better. That would be the only thing I could recommend at this point, because other than surgery, there's nothing else. that she could do. It's too late. Question number 4. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's Caucasian from Denver, Colorado. Summary of issue. How should I handle this issue on a date? Hey, y'all. Next weekend, I'm having a date with a guy that I met 3 weeks ago. We go along well together. So far, we see each other about 8 times, and we had Nook Nook for the first time last Tuesday. Okay, did I need to know that? Well, maybe. Let's see. Tonight, he will stay over, and he invited me to go to the thermal baths next weekend. Well, yeah, I heard they had nice thermal baths throughout Colorado. Now, the issue is I have a surgery planned in March to remove some unaesthetically, okay, she probably means unsightly veins on my left leg. I already mentioned that to him in a random discussion. I really want to go to the baths. It's something I really enjoy. I'm sure we can have a good time there, but I'm not sure about telling him my leg bothers me. I don't want him to be disgusted or look at it. I know that sounds silly. I feel very comfortable with this man and wonder whether I should tell him about my little issue, or should I just propose something else to avoid feeling embarrassed? Once we will be in the water, I'll be okay. What would you do? Would that be a turnoff for a guy, do you think? I have to mention that he already saw me nude, but when I'm lying down, my veins aren't so apparent. Oh, you know, it kills me how these women, you just focus on this one thing that you think is a flaw and that everybody's paying attention to it. You know, nobody gives a shit. When men are trying to screw you, you know what they're looking at? TNA. That's what they're looking at. They don't care about that. Trust me, he's not going to be looking at that. What you need to do is get over yourself. You're trying to portray, you know, you're picking yourself apart for this image like you have to be perfect. And I'll tell you a secret too. If it's a thing where he's going to be more focused on that than he is the TNA and the possibilities of tapping it, then you don't want him anyway. So it would be a good way to eliminate him from your dating pool. So you talking about he'd be looking at it, he'd be grossed out, disgusted, all that kind of stuff. If that's the case, then why would you want to date a man like that? You see where I'm going with this? You want a man who's going to accept you for, you know, everything that is about you. I mean, what if you had a surgical scar? You know, something that happened, you were in a car accident, and that scar represents the efforts that the emergency medical team did to save your freaking life. You going to be trying to hide that too? You see what I mean? I'm like, women, y'all be tripping about stupid stuff. You go into that thing I wouldn't necessarily want to go on the bath with somebody that early in the dating phase, but that's you. I would tell him, no, let's do something else to save that later for a couple of months down the lane or something like that. But, you know, you evidently is down for it, so you go. But you do that, you walk out proudly with your towel on and you jump in the water and you don't worry about it. Okay, if he asks about it, he points and say, yeah, I'm getting surgery to fix that next month. Just matter of factly, no big whoop-de-doo, no big deal. Okay? You are doing the absolute most and worrying about nothing. I'm just like, wow. I'm telling you, that would be a test for me. I would walk out there proudly pointing it out and like, look, this shit, what do you think about this? To see what he says. And if I didn't like his answer, I would go turn around and put my clothes on and that shit would be over. That's what would happen if it was me. It would be a test. But, you know, because I'm telling you, if he's going to be focused on that kind of stuff and try to, you know, flip out about that, it would be the same thing if you were married years later and you had a baby and stretch marks. You had to get a C-section and you had a cesarean scar. If you had to have a mastectomy and you had, you know, those kind of scars, it'll be the same thing. You get rejected for that as well because you wouldn't be perfect. So I'm looking at, you know, the mentality of the man. He has to accept you and love you as you are. And if he doesn't, and he finds fault with something on you like that, then you cut him loose anyway. Think about it. Question number 5. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group. She's Asian from Sacramento, California. The male in question, same age group, and he's white. Summary of issue. I've had a hard time knowing how to cope with my boyfriend's disproportionate anger. This is an issue that has repeatedly come up in our relationship. Most of the time, my partner, he's 25, I'm 26, is a sweetheart and could even be described as attentive and sensitive. But occasionally, something relatively minor will set him off and he gets angry, raises his voice at me, etc. Oh, no, 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 sweetheart, we don't do that. I have told him that I'm really sensitive to his tone, especially when he raises his voice. I grew up in an unstable household and fought with my now deceased father nearly every day. It was a very traumatic time in my life. When my boyfriend gets angry, it fills me with dread. I start shaking and I usually cry. And yet you stay. Today he became angry with me during a call because my tone had seemingly altered. He asked what was wrong and became instantly irritated when I said nothing, that I was fine. To be clear, nothing was wrong. I just felt low energy and sort of neutral. I didn't feel great, but also not bad, which is why I said nothing. I tried explaining this to him, and he just kept getting more and more irritated and raised his voice at me. And you can cuss him out? I ended up leaving the call because I was starting to cry and shake again, and he hasn't said anything to me since. I messaged and told him I was feeling too upset to talk. I just don't know how I'm supposed to handle these situations. I don't understand why he gets so mad. I've also noticed that he has really short patience with other things, like when he has to put something together, he gets frustrated so easily, and that puts me on edge too. I love him deeply and we have plans to move in together, but it makes me nervous, wondering if things will always be this way. I'm gonna tell you something. Stop being a fucking dummy. Number one, he's done showed you who he is. Believe what you see and stop trying to second guess it or think that it's your imagination. He's a fucking immature idiot with the emotional intelligence of a rock. That's what you have. That's what you're dating. Okay, he flies off the handle if you're not his perfect little Asian doll. He has a script for you in his life, and whenever you don't fulfill the script, he goes left. That's what that is. That's the case, what I found with a whole bunch of white boys when they get with these Asian women. They have this fantasy in their mind, the stereotype of how you're supposed to be. And when you're not that way, he gets all flipped out and stupid about it. You could read about it online. They had these beliefs that Asian women are this one way. And when you show yourself to not be that one way, they don't know what to do with it and they get upset. That's what's going on here. What you need to do is leave him alone because he's not good for your mental health. There's something wrong with him. He's stupid. And this is who he is. This is when you don't act the way he wants you to act and say the things he wants you to say, the way that he wants you to say it, he's going to flip out and act a fool. If you don't want that kind of relationship in your life, then you need to read your handwriting on the wall and get away from it. It's that simple. Now, I understand writing me. I don't understand why you should be writing me, telling me how it was and how you left instead of asking what you should do. You already know what you should do. No woman should be talked to and treated like this. I don't care what ethnicity she is. I just can't even understand why you would let somebody talk to you like that to the point where you're shaking and crying and it's repeated. And he knows the trauma that you suffered in the past, and yet he continues to behave that way anyway to reduce that kind of trauma response in you over and over again. And yet you seem to think that this guy cares about you. Like I said, the only reason he's with you is because you're a stereotype to him. You need to give him your both middle fingers and deuce out on this. Okay? This is not a sane and healthy situation for you. But something tells you you're not going to listen. And you're going to stay until you in a straitjacket. Yeah, he wants a little Asian doll, like I said. He don't want a real woman. He wants someone that he's going to fit all his stereotype and his vision of what she should be. And she needs to understand that. And this is the sad thing. I talked to some Asian women that I used to work with, and they said that's they've often run into that. And I said, it's the same thing with Black women. You feel like you're some kind of fetish when, you do some of these dudes, they be going after you and, they talk about the stuff that they talk about and the things on you that they choose to focus on. It lets you know right away, what their deal is. They don't treat you just like as a woman, just a woman, period. They kind of focus on, like they hold their hand up to yours, right? And they do this kind of thing where they're looking. It's like, oh, the brownness turns me on and stuff like that. I went out with this guy. He told me that when that date was over, I blocked his ass. I never talked to him again because I already knew what that meant. And that was young and then when that happened. But I knew what that meant. That was a fetish of his. And I'm like, I'm not going to participate in your freak show. Get the fuck out of here. So, you young women of other ethnicities, you need to pay attention. They're the same with black men. They don't want to go through the thing where they, screw a woman from every country and all this kind of stuff. Men have some really weird ideas, and you have to take your time if you dealing with somebody who's outside your race and make sure his mind is right and he's not with you to fulfill some kind of weird fantasy, and he's just with you because you just happen to be, somebody that he likes, and it just happens to be that this is your thing. This is your ethnicity, this is your race, whatever. He's not focused on that. But as soon as they start giving it away. You just got to pay attention. These dudes be tripping. Question number 6. Female 18 to 21 from Montreal. Summary of issue. My older neighbor, he's 48, is making me, 21, uncomfortable. When my family and I moved to our new place a month ago, we thought this neighbor was gay. He was very friendly, and our conversations have always been casual, surface level neighbor talk. We were just chatting around at 8 o'clock the other night about my cat, and I was home alone. He said it must be boring and lonely to be home alone and that he'd come by later. I said, sure. Why would you say sure? But it kind of made me tense. Ooh, you stupid. He revealed that he had an ex-wife and kids and mentioned past relationships with women, so I figured that he must be straight. A few things about his behavior sent alarms to go off in my head, but I only processed it after. Usually I can brush aside comments from an older guy saying I'm beautiful or ask if I have a boyfriend or partner because, they always ask or say that. He said we should have had drinks while we talked, which got me excited because initially I thought it would be nice, but agreed to leave it to next time since it was so late. Then he offered to show me the setup of his house and his bedroom. She's so brand new. And told me to try the bed by sitting on it, but I opted to just feeling the material. He would be touchy at times, like holding my arm or feeling my skin when I showed him my tattoo. Why would you show him your tattoo? Okay. One time when I tried to move my leg out of view, he said, don't be shy, let me see, and grabbed my leg to look at my feet and said, he's a foot guy. He said I should keep him coming over a secret from my family and called it our little secret. No, tell everybody. This guy is grooming you because he can see, even though you're 21, you're stupid. You're like a 15-year-old mentally. No fucking clue what's going on at all and falling right into his trap. I want you to tell both of your parents immediately what happened and what he said. Okay, so they can intervene because you're too dumb to handle this man on your own. You need backup. And in the future, I'm gonna finish reading this, but I have to say this now before I forget. Don't you ever be alone with this man. This is an essay just being waiting to happen. And then he's gonna say, well, I thought because you came over and we've been talking that it was okay and that you were interested. That's just gonna be his excuse. So he's gonna make it your fault. But this is where this is headed. And you don't even get it. Stay the fuck away from this old fool. Don't you let him in your house and don't you dare go in his. Tell your parents immediately every single thing that you wrote here. If anything, you show them this video and let them see how dumb their daughter is and how much they need to still protect you at 21 because you don't have a damn clue what's going on. Let me move on to the rest of it. When he left briefly to go back to his place next door, he went in for a hug, which I returned with a one-arm side hug, but he pulled me closer and kissed me on the cheek a little too close to my see. Now he's feeling all over you. I was surprised and relieved when he left. He came around again to chat an hour later and asked about my dating life. Did you let him in again after that? Oh my God. This is the dumbest girl that has written this column in years. I'm an open person, so I shared a bit, but still watch my words. You're supposed to tell him that's none of your business, what I do. And you weren't supposed to let him in again either. If he knocked on the door trying to get in, you say it's late, go back home, I'll talk to you another day or something like that. to blow him off. I felt uncomfortable when he used the two of us as an example when asking questions about my comfort levels in dating. I quickly changed the topic the first time, but he asked again and made himself clearer, asking if I would freak out if our lips were to touch at that moment. I hope he had sensed my discomfort since he asked for a kiss on the cheek instead, and feeling pressured, I did it, and he returned one to see. He sees how easy you are and how you have no boundaries and you have no spine. This is an essay that's about to happen to you because you just dumb and just don't even understand what the fuck is going on. I usually find myself in comfortable situations with people showing interest in me. Am I being myself in these because I act flirty and friendly? I'm still young and quite inexperienced. I was in a situationship with a guy who was 26 when I was 20, and I felt uncomfortable because I struggled to know my own boundaries and when they are being pushed. I walked away from it feeling horrible about myself, even though I consented to everything. With this neighbor, I'm getting nook intrusive thoughts that I can't control, but it irks me because his kids are only a couple of years younger than me. And if anything were to happen, he lives right next door to me. Also, he initially thought I was a minor because I look young, yet he still asked to come over to keep me company. Am I being dramatic? Should I say something to him or just keep my distance? No, you keep your distance and you do like I said, tell your parents everything that happened and stop letting random men into the house when you're by yourself. Nobody should come into your house. Nobody. Because you're too dumb. When your parents are gone, you lock all the locks and you don't let nobody in. That's the rule that you need to follow from here on out. And you ain't leaving either. Oh, Lord, have mercy. But, like I said, this is the repetitive pattern with these parents. They don't tell their daughters anything. They don't tell them anything. They let their daughters grow up with absolutely no knowledge of men, no street smarts, no idea about how to protect themselves, how to have boundaries, nothing. This is a repetitive pattern that I've seen over the last, I say, 10 years doing this show. It's gotten so much worse with young girls and their parents not teaching them shit. And these are the parents, these Gen X parents or millennials, I mean, whatever they are, because the kids are young. So whatever that generation of parents, they're not doing shit as far as teaching their kids what to do. So the girls are all stupid. They all dumb. They get into these weird relationships and they let men put them in weird situations. They don't have any boundaries or have a fucking clue about how to recognize when they're getting groomed. Nothing. They have no knowledge about men and bullshit. Having to Gen X, okay. Having to feel like, this sole responsibility for educating an entire generation of girls on how to conduct themselves and how to protect themselves is on my shoulders. It's wearing me out. The parents, please step the fuck up and teach your kids something. Don't be raising these girls like just turning them out like this. You send them off to college, they're like lambs just waiting to be slaughtered. You have to teach your girls how to deal with the world as the world is, not how you wish it was or how it was when you were growing up. Man, I stayed at my daughter's here. She probably got scared because I was like, oh yeah, look at this shit here. And telling her all kind of stuff. No, it wasn't like that when I was little. We played outside and went all over San Francisco. Me and my brothers we went everywhere. Downtown stuff all by myself. And it was not a big thing. The world was different though. The world now, you can't let your girls go out and into the world without knowledge and the survival skills. You can't do that. You're setting them up for failure and devastation and drama when you do that. You think as a parent that it's cute that your daughter's going to be so innocent. What you're really doing is fucking her up. You're fucking her over and you're setting her up. That's what you're doing. Oh my God, girl, tell your parents immediately everything that happened and say, I feel really icky about this. I'm kind of scared. I don't know. I think I made a mistake, but I don't know how to get out of it. They'll help you. If I lived near you, I would do it, but I don't. Where did she say? Is she in Canada or something? Let me just double check. I could have sworn, as I recall, she was in Canada somewhere. Yeah, Montreal. Question number 7 of 25 questions. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group from Seattle, Washington. Summary of issue. How could I move on from the emotional infidelity by my boyfriend? Well, get a new boyfriend. I mean, what is the problem? Oh, let me see what Sliver had to say. Sliver has always she shares interesting things, so I want to see this big time. Because he has nice things. Yeah. But like I said, the world was different then. We had the room to make mistakes without drama. And she did. I mean, she escaped, but it's just too close for me because he's feeling all on her, kissing on her, and basically when he's pressing her boundaries and he can see that she doesn't have any. So that's what I'm saying is the setup. He's already set her up. She doesn't even understand what's gonna happen. And she's like, I'm having these thoughts. Little heifer, you don't have no thoughts except for the fact that your ass is going to be in the emergency room trying to explain getting the rape kit. That's what's going to be happening with you because you don't even understand what's going on in your role in this. You can't act like this with old slick men. You can't be brand new with them like this. This should have never fucking happened. When he talked about he want to come over, you're supposed to say no. You're my parents' age. Why would I want to socialize with you? You're old. That's what you were supposed to say to him. And then not let him, you're not going to his house and he's not coming to yours. That would be the perfect thing that you could have said to shut this down. And he would have been like, oh, yeah, well, but we're neighbors. Like, I don't give a fuck what we are. I'm not socializing with you, old man. Leave me the fuck alone. But see, you don't talk like that. And so he could see that you're just an easy mark. And all you girls, listen to this. Listen to what I'm saying here and change your way of dealing with these old slick ass men. Even the young ones are slick ass too. I don't trust none of these motherfuckers. Always trying to run some game on somebody and come up on something and use somebody who's young and stupid and naive and thinking that somebody likes him. He don't care about you. You merely a vehicle for him to get. Let me shut up before I get my video banned again. Okay. Question. Okay. Where was I? Okay, she want to know how to move on from emotional infidelity. How do you move on from emotional infidelity and micro cheating? What the fuck? I recently found out a few things about my boyfriend, and I realized that throughout our entire relationship of 1 year, he was micro cheating and crossing the line of friendship and flirting with a girl I've always been uncomfortable with and a different girl he had a thing for. This first girl is his quote close friend and part of his inner circle. I can't stop thinking about everything that I found out, and it seems like I can't move on. I love him, and part of me still wants to have a life with him, but I just don't know how to move past this. I know micro cheating / emotional infidelity is different than actual physical cheating, but I still feel like he betrayed me. Any advice? Yeah, break up with him. I'm trying to figure out why you've been with somebody for a year and you found out that this is how he's been doing you for that whole year, and you're writing me instead of breaking up with him. This is the thing I've always said to women. It's like there's a video, I did a clip about the 3 things that you should have in a relationship, no matter what else happens. These are the 3 issues, the 3 components of a sane and healthy relationship. And look at it's in my short section. Look at that, and that will tell you all that you need to know. I summed up relationships in 3 sentences. But what you have here is a marked lack of respect, which is one of the things that's a violation. Okay, he's not giving you the relationship that you want. That's violation number 2. And then he's lying to you. That's violation number 3. So I'm trying to figure out what it is that you think you're getting out of this situation from a man who treats you like this. And you just want to stay with him. Why? See, again, she got it. What is it? Gen X parents, right? Because she's 18 to 21. Gen X parents that are stupid and didn't teach her nothing. She has no self-respect and no self-esteem to even think that this is something that she should tolerate once she found out. He'd been doing it the entire relationship. What does that mean? That means the relationship that you thought you had with this man never existed except in your imagination. So what are you doing? Why is this even a conversation or a question? If you respected yourself the second you found that out, you would have said, fuck you, I'm out, deuces. Boop. And that this shit here that was a joke, that never really existed, like I said, except in your imagination, would be over. But instead, you're writing me and wondering what you should do. That to me means that you don't really want to break up with him, that you want to accept the disrespect and you want to continue accepting the disrespect. And you're looking for me to justify it for you so that you can stay. I'm not going to do that. I'm telling you right now, if you stay with this man, you're an idiot. And he'll know that you know, and he will know that you accept stupid behavior and disrespect. And guess what? He gonna up the ante because he wants you to have enough spine to leave him. That's why he's doing it. Men don't like to break up. They want you to do it. And he's doing everything he can to make you see that he doesn't give a shit about you. And yet here you are, still stuck there, just still tripping. Please. Oof. I don't know. I can't deal with this. Question number 8. This is a young man in the 22 to 27 age group from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Summary of issue: I can't control my emotions. Okay. I made it short about y'all too. Big ass babies, whining, depressed, throwing fits and shit like you still wear Pampers. That's this new generation. And here we go. Here we go. Let's see what stupid activity you were into. I get super, super overwhelmed at times when I feel like there's so much happening all at once. For example, my washer broke last night, so I have no clean clothes to wear because the ones I was washing are too wet to put in the dryer. And you couldn't hang them up outside and let them air dry. You couldn't do that? On top of that, I also did not eat anything yesterday, and my partner offered to take me on a date and then canceled at the last minute because something else came up. I look forward to, and you don't know how to like walk down the street and get something to eat or order pizza or go to fast food drive-through or make yourself some scrambled eggs and toast or something. You don't know how to do any of that? Okay. Okay, so I looked forward to that date all day, so that added to the upset feeling. I had to work this morning at 8 a.m., and I was already overwhelmed because I could not find clean pants to wear, and I was hangry from the night before. You need to starve to death because you're too stupid to be on this planet breathing air that the rest of us need. I am also back in college. And I was thinking about all of the assignments I have to do while also working all day today. And the fact that I am putting on dirty clothes and I have to figure out how to make time to wash my clothes elsewhere at some point. I threw 3 pairs of pants on the ground after deeming them too dirty to wear. I stomped around the house looking for some pants because I was frustrated. My partner has now insinuated that I am violent and I need to learn how to control my emotions better. I do have a tendency to lash out when I get overwhelmed, but I have never been violent towards someone else, and I disagree with that statement. I do not believe I am violent, but I do think I need better coping skills. Years ago, I would have resorted to self-harm, and I see it as an improvement now. Instead of hurting myself, I throw a few clothes onto the floor and take out my frustration in the moment. How do I calm myself down before I get to the point of wanting to throw something? And is it really that bad to throw a couple of things instead of hurting myself? I also think it's important to note that at this time, I'm also figuring out my medication doses and quitting vaping. There's just a lot going on, but I do not want to be seen as violent when I thought I had made improvements towards more healthy ways of handling my emotions. Okay, so you went from a 2-year-old to a 4-year-old. I mean, what do you want from me? How old are you now? I forgot. Hold on a second. You in the 22 to 27 age group and you acting like a 4-year-old and you think that you're going to get some kudos from me? Do you know young men in your age group are already married with a family, working a full-time job and taking care of business, holding shit down, paying bills, and all that kind of stuff. And your ass is running around stomping on pants because your washing machine broke. I can't with you. You are useless, a waste of time. Whoever is your partner is an idiot as well because they must like changing diapers because that's about the mentality that you have. I cannot believe that you are as old as you are and acting as stupid and dumb and incompetent as an adult as you do. You're wasting time doing vaping or whatever that shit is instead of handling your business in school and working like an adult and being responsible. All of the things that you mentioned are nothing, absolutely nothing to have a meltdown over like a little kid. And you think that, you should be getting some kind of help for that? I think that what you need to do is go and jump on the nearest shrink's couch and figure out what happened to you to make you so ignorant. You can't consider yourself a man acting like this. You're certainly a male, just by gender. But you're not a man. I don't know what the fuck you are. just a waste of time and useless. Okay. Is that harsh? Absolutely. And you know why it's harsh? Because it's the truth. You think that somebody's going to feel sorry for you because the washing machine kept your pants too wet? Like I said, you can't pull them out and squeeze them dry and hang them up somewhere. You don't know how to do that. See what I mean about the parents? This is a skill set that you should have been taught. Even essentially, if you had any kind of sense, you could have figured this out yourself. But I mean, this is the kind of thing that parents usually teach their kids. Oh, if the washing machine breaks down, you need to hand wash some clothes. This is how you do it. Right? This is what you do. You put the stuff in there, and then you rinse it out, and then you hang it up to dry. They teach you how to do that. It's called a survival skill. Obviously, your parents never taught you that. Again, failure on the Gen X parents. Yeah, he is just ridiculous. And I just like I said, the person who spent time talking about you're their partner, they're just the most ignorant fool walking on two legs. Because there's no way in this world that you deserve to have a partner. You can't even take care of yourself. So how could you take care of somebody else in a relationship? What the fuck would you have to give them except a fucking headache? You waste of time, loser. Question number 7. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group. She's European from the UK. Summary of issue. I would like to be able to talk to my boyfriend without causing an argument. Then that means you change boyfriends. I mean, what you want from me? You see this one is stupid, right? Okay. Let's see the drama. I'm 20 and I'm dating this 19-year-old. Well, there's your first mistake. 19-year-old boys are stupid. At your age, you should be dating men older than you, not younger. He's got the mentality of a 15-year-old at 19. I already know. My issue is that I don't feel like I can open up and talk to my boyfriend anymore. At the beginning of the relationship, the only thing we ever argued about was me not opening up and talking to him about my issues. So after a lot of trying, I was finally able to start talking to him about what was going on. Now I don't feel like I can anymore. Recently, my mental health hasn't been great, and I just need to open up about how bad you was struggling. Okay, I don't know what she meant. I was struggling, I think, and just needed to be told everything would be okay, but that didn't happen. He got mad, hung up the phone. It was like midnight, and we were on FaceTime, and didn't speak to me for a day. He completely left me alone when I was telling him that I didn't not need to be. When he did talk to me, he was still mad. Out of the 3 times I was extremely vulnerable towards him that I can think of off the top of my head, he has only been there for me once. Anytime I try to talk to him about something, it usually goes me telling him that something's wrong. He gets mad. I feel like shit and think that we're going to break up. I apologize. And then the next day I might get something of an apology and new quote rules. For example, you have 2 months to get into therapy or we're done. I'd like to talk to him about this pattern, but I'm scared that he'll turn it around on me again. It'll somehow be my fault again and the cycle will repeat. But then jump off the ship. It's like you acting like you glued there and you don't have any choice. You see this as a pattern. You see it's self-destructive and ridiculous, and you see that he's not going to change. So how long are you going to put up with this bullshit? By the time he did it the second time, you should have been like, you know what? Whoa, Captain. I'm getting off of this ship because your ship is about to sink and I don't want to be on it. You know, this is the thing that people don't even think about. You know, when ships be sinking, do you know even the rats have enough sense to jump off and float away on something? The only people that's stupid that stay on it is humans. What you think is gonna happen? Get off the sinking ship. If a rat's gonna jump on a piece of floating wood and float away, what the fuck is you doing? Stand there. I found that out when I was doing research about. Don't ask me why I was doing research about ships sinking. But it's something I just wanted to know. What happens? What goes on? How many people usually survive and all this kind of stuff? What makes them sink? It was years ago, but I was curious, and so I went and started researching it. Don't ask me why I'm weird like that. But then I found out that they always see the rats like swimming away. People be on the boat. They say the captain goes down with the ship. The rats be like, "Boop, I'm out, dude. It was nice seeing you," and they be on about their business. But, so in a situation like this, where you see who this man is, and you just like not paying attention, it's like you just don't want to admit the truth that this relationship is stupid and it sucks. And he sucks, and he's never going to be the man that you want him to be. So when a woman is smart, she accepts reality and then she moves on. You haven't done that yet. I suggest you get a clue. Honey, I'm telling you, be like rats and ghosts. I don't understand it. Is it me? Because I know, you look at these women and they have like this, they take all this stuff. I wouldn't take this shit for 5 minutes. I need you to be there for me and you not there. Like I said, the number one thing is the man has to give you the relationship that you need. If he doesn't at any time for any reason, you next him. There's no way, you're just dating. It's not your husband. It's not, like no forced relationship or nothing. You fully chose to get into it and you can fully choose to leave it. You don't owe him shit. He's just a mere boyfriend. And the fact that he's not a good boyfriend is enough to move on to the next one. I don't understand this. Why do you girls stick around with these losers that mistreat you and abuse you and cheat on you and lie to you and all kind of stuff, and you stay in the relationship? What do you do that shit for? What are you getting out of hurting yourself like that for? Or sticking around with some man that's letting him hurt you over and over and over again? What is the point of that? I don't understand it. The only thing I can come up with is you don't love yourself at all. So you feel like you deserve to be treated like that and be abused and hurt. See, Deb ain't doing it like that. I love me more than I love anybody on this planet. And it's like, I'm going to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. Always. Because even on an airplane, notice how they tell the parents, before you take care of your kid, take care of yourself. That's how it has to be. You can't take care of anybody else if you don't take care of yourself. So all these girls talking about, well, but I love him though. You don't love him because you don't love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can't love anyone else. That's some weird codependency, blood-sucking vampire relationship or something, but it's not love. It's weird and it's a sick attachment, but it's not love. You can't love someone else if you don't love yourself first. And loving yourself means respecting and taking care of yourself at all times, in any situation, no matter who the person is. It could be your parents, your kids, your spouse. I don't care who it is. You're supposed to take care of yourself first. You should always be able to look in the mirror at the person looking back at you with pride and admiration and respect her with your, hold your chin up high and look her directly in the eyes. You should always be able to do that. If you start dropping your head and looking down and you can't look at yourself and you can't, feel like you're good about with the stuff that you've done and the choices that you've made, that means you're living wrong. Okay? Fix that shit. I mean, I was this. They got one time. When I was younger, they would get 2. Now I'm old. I don't fucking feel like it. I feel like at this age, everybody should know what to do already. Most of these people done had 10 or 12 relationships, been married, divorced, some of them 2 or 3 times, got grown kids and grandparents and shit like that. And I'm going to be giving you a chance? Fuck you. I'm not giving you shit. If you can't figure it out by now, by the time you hit 50 years old and you still need somebody to train you, good luck with that, because it ain't going to be me. I don't have time for that shit. Motherfucker. Question number 8. This is a male in the 34 to 41 age group, white, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Summary of issue. I can't stand my girlfriend's friend. My girlfriend has a great group of friends. However, one of them is horrible to be around. He is slightly older, 37 to her 34, and is condescending, rude, and constantly puts me in a bad mood. I've only ever hung out with him in group settings, and it feels like he goes out of his way to make me feel bad or uncomfortable. I will actively avoid him, yet he will still seek me out and put me down. I told my girlfriend this, and she told me that others have talked to him about how he can be difficult to be around, but she has never addressed it with him personally. My friends and I made plans to watch the Super Bowl on Sunday. My girlfriend booked us a table at a bar and invited some of her friends along. I just found out that the jerk friend will be there. Am I allowed to cancel and go somewhere else with my friends? Sure you are. But what you really should do is bring your friends to that party so you have backup. Let me tell you what this dude is doing. He likes your girlfriend. He sees you as a threat. So what he's trying to do is put you down so to make himself feel better. What you are supposed to do is not run from him, sir. What you're supposed to do is say, yeah, motherfucker, I see what your game is. You mad because I'm tapping it and you never got a chance because she's not interested in you. She likes me and you mad. So every chance you get, you want to try to rub it in and try to make yourself feel better about getting rejected. That's what this is. So you try to put me down and try to say, but guess what? Last night she was moaning on my dick, not yours. Stuff like that. That's what you need to say to him and to shut him down and make him look embarrassed and stuff. That's what you need to have. This is the kind of dude that you need to say stuff like that to. And I know it's crass, I know it's crude, but that's how you had to shut this kind of motherfucker down. You don't run scared from him. He comes, and that's why he's chasing you around and stuff, because you haven't stood up to him. You just run from him. So they'll tell your friends what's going on, and you go to the party where she has booked it, and you sit right next to her, and you be all over her. You rubbing on her and kissing on her and hugging on her and just doing the absolute most. That's what you do. You rub it in his face that you got her and he don't. And no matter how much he tries to stay in the friend zone and thinking he gonna get a chance later, it's not gonna happen. And you have to remind him of that. You hang around like a friend because you think you're gonna get an opportunity. It's never gonna happen. Motherfucker, even when I wasn't here, she still wasn't interested in you. So you just wasting a whole bunch of time. But I'm here now, and you just big mad. Stuff like that. You don't run from guys like this. It just surprises me how many of these men these days just don't have no nuts. Don't have none. And you just gonna run from the shit and go hang out with your friends and just leave her there by herself with this dude? He will have won if you do that. You don't understand. His mentality, he's trying to drive you away. You're not supposed to let him do that. You stick to your girlfriend like fucking Elmer's glue all. Gorilla glue, whatever the stickiest stuff is. That's how you stick to her. You rub on her butt, you pat on her, you kiss on her, you hug on her, you do back hugs, you do front hugs, you do every kind of touching of her you could do. Put her leg over your leg while you're sitting at the table. You rub on her thighs, you just touch her to death, and you make sure he sees it. And you compliment her, tell her how beautiful she is, all sorts of stuff. And he's gonna eat him alive. He'll probably leave at halftime. I would be just doing the absolute most, putting on a show, and have my friends be part of it too. Say, yeah, they stayed at my house, and I was like, the walls were bouncing and rocking and stuff, and she was screaming. It was just like kind of embarrassing, stuff like that. Make them a part of the show that you put on, so they can talk about how great she is and with you, and how great you are to her, and how much she loves you, how much you guys love each other, all that kind of stuff. They need to be co-signing on this stuff so that you can feel better about it. But one thing you're not going to do is go anywhere else with your friends and leave her there by herself with this clown. You're not going to do that. I'm telling you, man, I would be like, oh, let me crack his face right quick. Because the main thing is, like I said, he's thinking he's hanging around in the friend zone that he's going to get an opportunity. And I would just have to let him know that's just never going to happen. It's never going to happen. And even if it did, she would still come back to me because I know what she likes and you don't. Because I've tapped it and you ain't. Oh, man, I would be so, yeah, I would be so crass and crude. And let her know afterwards what you was doing. Maybe. I don't know. Should she know? Well, let me think about that part. I'll think about that and give a response later. Question number 9, female, 20 to 34. She's Black, from Houston, Texas. Summer issue. What makes a good man to you? I was just on a social media platform, and a poster said that her husband was, quote, a good man, end quote, because he can't earn enough for her to stay at home indefinitely. Personally, I don't agree with this statement. So for being entirely honest, what are your non-negotiables? My list: kindness, integrity, honesty, respect. Kindness, integrity, honesty, respect. Okay. A similar sense of humor to my own, treating me as an equal, being present for our family and children. I'm sure that there's more, but for me, being wealthy doesn't feature into the plan. What do you ladies of the squad think is a good man? And what about you, Deb? I've already made a bunch of videos about this, so I'm not going to revisit this topic. I think that everything that you put on here, other than a similar sense of humor and treating you as an equal, that's not on my list. Integrity, definitely. What I feel like is more important than a sense of humor is a similar values and morals, because that way you're gonna, roll through the world with a similar outlook of what's appropriate behavior and ways to protect and respect each other in your relationship. So, I could laugh by myself. I don't need somebody to have a similar sense of humor to me. I guess it's fun, but is that what makes a good man? No. And then you said treating me as an equal. If someone respects you, then isn't that kind of redundant? I don't know that I'd want to be treated as an equal. I want to be treated like he respects me absolutely, and I want to be treated like I'm special and important. Now, treating like you like an equal is kind of touchy because then these dudes turn that around to be, well, I pay 50-50, it's 50-50, and all this kind of stuff. I don't want that. I want a man who's going to see me as someone that he should take care of emotionally, physically, and financially. So I don't want to be treated as an equal. I'll flat out tell him that just right now. I'm not. I mean, what's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine too. So that's not equal. And that's how it is. I mean, my husband was like, "Fine, that's fine." It's like I got enough for 10 people. I'm not tripping. And so it was a joke, but it was kind of true. So they just have to be on board with whatever your program is, and that's my program. That's my program. I'm just being honest. Don't be looking for me to pay half. That's just never gonna happen. If you want half, then you need to be with a male roommate or something. You need to be in a gay relationship where y'all is the same. But that's not going to happen, not over here. So, because this is going to be equal when we start having babies and shit. Obviously, that's not the case. So you talking about somebody being equal, you've already thrown a monkey wrench into the works of too much responsibility is going to be landing on your shoulders, chick. So you got to think into the future, I remember when I was little, I was reading a story about Vietnam soldiers. And they were saying that on the battlefield, these tough, hard, like Marines, I mean, like the strongest men ever were, got hit and they knew they wasn't going to make it. They would start crying for their mother. Nobody cried for their daddy. They wanted their mother. Mothers hold a special place in their children's hearts, and mothers have a lot more responsibility, emotional, physical, and everything else for their children. You got to weigh that in when you start talking about equal. That's just never equal. Kids run to mommy, always. And so, that really left an impression on me. You see, I still remember it years later. These, captains were talking about it. These hardened soldiers, adults, hardcore dudes, crying for their mothers and say, tell my mother, I love her, and all this kind of stuff like that. So, how does that make you equal to daddy? It doesn't, and it never will be. So women who want to talk about, well, we equal and we have a 50-50 relationship, you a fucking idiot. You're an idiot and you're being taken advantage of. They shit about being a woman equal to what men are supposed to do. And the second it becomes equal and you call yourself in a relationship, well, that means that you a fool and you getting taken advantage of. He coasting and you assuming way too much of his responsibility. I'm not doing that shit. I'll straight tell him I'm not doing it. I'm going to do my thing and you're going to do yours. And you're going to do what I expect you to do as the man in this relationship. Anytime your fucking ass can't do it, there's the door, get the hell out. Yeah, they need to step the fuck up. But so many women don't make them step up because they jump in and assume their responsibility, talking about, well, I'm going to be 50-50. I don't know who thought that shit was a good idea. Question number 10. This is a female in the 38 to 42 age group. She's white from Plymouth in the UK. Summary issue. My 16-year-old son's relationship with his 19-year-old girlfriend is concerning. I'm in a situation with my son that has me losing sleep at night, and I really don't know where else to turn. He's been dating this girl for a year now. They got together when he was just 15 and she was 18. And you didn't file charges on her? And from the start, it's been a roller coaster. At first, I tried to be the cool mom about it, but things have spiraled. She's incredibly possessive and controlling, not wanting him to see his friends or have any sort of life outside of their relationship. It's gotten to the point where he's isolated from almost everyone he used to be close with. But it's not just the emotional manipulation that's worrying me, it's the physical danger. She's attacked him more than once, and he confessed to me that she's even pulled a knife on him during an argument. Hearing that as a mother is horrifying. My husband and I are at a loss. My son's girlfriend has also put things in his drinks. My son once confessed to me that while we were talking, that he and his girlfriend were once at a college party and there were D's there, and my son didn't want to take any, so my girlfriend put some in his drink. The reason he knew this is because his girlfriend told him, and he felt very high even after the one drink he had. We've been talking to him about the dangers of this relationship and the importance of healthy boundaries and how love doesn't look like control or fear. Despite this, he defends her, convinced that what they have is real love. In desperation, I confronted her and asked her to end things for his well-being. Her response, quote, "I love your son and I won't do that," end quote. It's clear she doesn't see the harm she's causing, or worse, she doesn't care. It doesn't stop there, though. She's done things like belittling him in front of us, demanding to know where he is at all times, and making scenes if he spends time with his family over her. My husband and I are terrified for his mental and physical safety, but we're struggling on how to proceed without pushing him further into her arms. What would you do if you're my shoes? I would find a military school in another country and I would ship his fucking ass off to it, and there would be shit he could do because he's still a minor. Okay, wait. Who's here from the UK? Is 16 still considered a minor in the UK? Somebody, I know we got people here from all over the world. So somebody, is that still a minor in the UK? Because here in the United States it is. He doesn't have autonomy, definitely at 15. So somebody who might know that or can look that up real quick, let me know, because that's the important point here. But I would mortgage my house. I would do whatever I had to do. I would tell my son we going on a trip. And the morning that we were leaving, I would take his cell phone so he couldn't call her. I would take his phone, give him nothing because he's not gonna have a phone. And I'm gonna ship his ass off to a military school. That's what I'm gonna do. It's like it's locked down. You can't go nowhere. You can't get no visitors. They keep an eye on you 24/7. It's very regimented, and he would be not only have structure, but he would be protected from her. She wouldn't be able to get in even if he told her where he was. That's what I would do. I wouldn't give a fuck how much it cost or what I had to do or where I had to borrow the money. That's what I would do to protect my son, because this bitch is crazy. She's going to kill him because she's that possessive and controlling. She needs to be out of his life. And I'm surprised you haven't called the police. Once you found out that she had put, stuff in his drink, that's a crime. Nobody knows. Minor till 18. Okay, so he's still a minor. Oh, no. And you trying to be the cool mom with a 15-year-old? It would be like the same thing with a 15-year-old girl with an 18-year-old guy. That's just not happening. That's not going to happen. I don't understand what you were trying to do, talking about this cool mom. You're supposed to go in her face and say, "Look here, bitch, you are an adult and he is a minor child. Stay away from my kid before I have your ass arrested." That's what's going to happen here. Don't you come around here. You leave him the fuck alone. Don't think I'm playing. That's what happened. And then I would go call up Guido and them and say, "Go and make her disappear. I want her in a ditch somewhere." That's what I would do. Because I just don't care about stuff like that. It's like, this is my kid. This is my life. This is the one I carried for 9 months and birthed and raised up. You're not going to hurt him. If you do anything that hurts my child, then all bets are off and your life is mine. And trust me, your life is not worth anything I feel like you're a threat to my kid's safety. So yeah, that bitch would have to disappear. Guido Nim would be in full effect. It's like, and I don't care what you do with her, but she better not come around my house anymore. That's what I would do. And like I said, I wouldn't give a fuck if I had to mortgage my house 10 times, sell everything I owned, everything. If it was going to protect my child, that's what I would fucking do. And that would just be the end of it. Yes, honey, Guido. Guido Nim. Yeah. This bitch right here. But she knows that you're running scared. So that's why she just feels all empowered and emboldened. This shit would never have gone. I'm telling you, once I got wind of her trying to control him and limit his activities and stuff, and he was only 15, I found that she was first of all, just to find out that she's 18 and he's 15, that would have been enough for me to go crazy right then. But now he's 16 and she's doing all this kind of stuff to him and threatening him and pulling weapons on him and stuff. And you haven't reported her to the police. I'm just shocked at you and your husband. Both of you are just useless as parents. Your kid don't have no kind of protection. You sitting up here writing me and you're not doing shit with this bitch. Talking about I confronted her with some words. You're supposed to slap the shit out of her and kick her a couple of times and tell her you stay away from my son. I'm gonna make sure that your fucking ass don't walk again. How about that? This bitch is crazy. Yes, honey. I don't know. I just get crazy. I just like I just lose it when it comes to my kid. Question number 11. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's mixed race from Bristol, England. Summary of issue. I got canceled at the last minute for a dinner date because he already ate. Should I really reschedule? Hell to the no. What's wrong with you? This shouldn't even be a question. So I met this guy for one date and we had an okay time. We planned to meet for dinner again, though we didn't make concrete plans. He said next week. I said, I'll check my calendar. Since I had no plans on the weekend, I asked him if he could meet for dinner as planned the very next day at 9 a.m. He said yes. He also texted me at 1500. What is that, at 4 o'clock? What time he'd be back 3 o'clock in town. He arrived in town and soon after he said, I just had lunch. It was 1740 and canceled the date. I am somehow unwilling to reschedule because I'm not comfortable with this. I haven't replied to his sorry gal. Should I reschedule? Hell no, you should block his ass. Why do you think that this is something that you should try to chase after him about? I'm trying to figure out what you were thinking that you would even ask this question. This is like a no-brainer. He asked you after dinner and then he says, oh, I already ate. And you sitting up there being confused about what you should do. Thank you, Monica. You confused? I'm shocked. I don't even know what to say. But the bottom line is no, you're not going to reschedule and you're just going to block him and forget that he even exists. Okay. You have one nice date. That's it. That's it. This is over. Question number 12. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's Latina from San Diego, California. Summary of issue. He flirted with me and then he posted a girlfriend. I am 25 and I met this guy also 25 at his job, a bar where I had just started going somewhat regularly. He would always flirt with me and do things he didn't do for other customers or even my friend who was always with me. My friend was pretty much non-existent to him, so it didn't seem like just customer service. One day he came in on his off day and asked to take a shot with me, and then he went to play darts by himself. After a few minutes, a girl came in and approached him, and they seemed to know each other, and I saw him playfully hit her back. A few minutes later, they left together. I thought that was weird, but whatever. I wasn't sure who she was to him. A week later, he continued to flirt, so I told him I thought that he was cute and asked for his IG, and he gave it to me. I messaged him the next day, and he was being super dry and weird, but had asked me where I was. He was at work at the time. He continued to be dry, then ended up leaving me on scene for 15 hours after his shift finished. I ended up deleting him from IG. Now, about 2 weeks later, I was scrolling through old DMs, and I see he updated his IG photo to him and a woman he says is his girlfriend. I'm pissed and feel played. What should I do? Slap your silly ass self and wake the fuck up. Okay, first of all, you go to a bar and the bartenders flirt. That's what the fuck they do. You know why they do that? Because it increases their tips. It also gets people to come back. This is a strategy. And the good bartenders can fill up a bar with men and women because of the way that they relate to people. It's not necessarily flirting. They might flirt a little bit with the women if he's straight, and flirt with the men if he's gay. I mean, whatever. But a good bartender will do two things. One, they will keep you drinking. And number two, they will upsell you on the liquor. And number three, they will keep you coming back to that spot because you enjoy interacting with them. That's how it works. If you got a bartender, whether it's male or female, really, but then you talking about the dude, so I'm saying he has the ability to do that. He will never be without work because he increases the business, he increases the revenue for the business on the bar. The business, seeing those dollars go up, recognizes his value. That's what was going on. It's just you're just so young, you don't even understand the game. That's what happens when you go to a bar and the bartender flirts with you. That's what they're trying to do. Okay, that's their job. Don't read too much into it. Don't feel played and don't feel all this stuff. He did a good sales job. That's what he's supposed to do. Your happy ass kept going there, right? Bring your friends, all stuff. That's what he's supposed to do. He's doing a good job at what he was supposed to do. He was doing what he was supposed to getting paid to do, rather. which is build up the business, repeat business. So, okay, I just broke it down for you. So hopefully you won't make this mistake again. And you will understand if a bartender starts flirting with you, what's going on. Did your man ever ask you on a date? Nope. Did the man ask you for your number? Nope. Did the man ask to take you out? Nope. Did the man ask for your IG? Nope. Did he ask for your phone number or email or anything? Nope. Nothing about what he did was flirtatious towards you. You were the one telling him that he was cute and asking for his information. Okay. So there's no reason for you to be feeling played and being mad. You played yourself by not understanding the game. You overstepped the boundaries and then you got a reality check. What you want from me? Silly girl. Yeah. I mean, the bartenders, honey, they and especially the cute ones, and they be like winking at you and telling, just chit-chatting and stuff like that. They're very engaging. And so you like to be there so that you can talk to them. And every time you're there, you stay longer, right? So the more longer you stay, the more drinks you order. So, people understand the game here. Everything in this world operates on a game. Everything. Where people are going to be seeing how useful you are to them. That is the law of the world. Even if you get married, the man is picking you because you are useful to him. He loves you. I mean, he might love you, might not. But even if he does love you, it's still going to marry you because he feels like you're a good deal. Okay. Otherwise, he's not going to marry you. He'll just get the benefits of you and just shack up with you and have kids with you. And then when he gets done, he'll just toss you aside for the new model. But if he wants to marry you, that means he feels like you're a really good deal and he wants to lock it down. Why? Because you're a benefit to him. Every single thing in this world operates on that principle. Everything. So I don't understand these women who get in these relationships with men that aren't a benefit. They just sucking them dry. What you done lost, you forgot what you're supposed to be doing here. If he ain't a benefit to you, then you don't need to be with him. Bottom line. I hate to be like that cut and dry, but it seems like these girls need to hear this. Nobody's telling them this. These dudes ain't no benefit to you. They ain't even delivering nothing in the sheets. Oh, we'd hardly ever do it. And, or, he's over in 5 seconds. And then you still with his ass? You tripping. Question number 13. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group out in London. Summer issue. Can men not manage a C anymore? You know what a C is. Don't type it. I've been single a while, and every time I try to start a new physical relationship, sensibly, after lots of conversation about safe nook, they don't seem to be able to manage the lift with a C on. Okay, so I know Candace changed this language. So, that means that there's no lift. You know what that means, okay? There's no lift once they put on that C. I'm so fed up and I end up being made to feel I'm being a bit fussy and uptight and that I'm the problem. Any advice on how to handle this would be wonderful, please. I'm going to tell you something. Being raised in the Bay Area, I have a lot of gay friends. And you got a man who puts on a C and then, things. There's two things at work here. One is he's used to doing what he wants with women's bodies. And you telling him no is causing him mental confusion. And so he doesn't feel like he's running things anymore. So he's, okay, that's one thing. Number two is he really didn't want to do it in the first place. He used to being, raw. And that's what he wants. And you telling him no, again, it's about control and power is, messing with him. So he's going to try to say, well, it's because of that. But no, it's really because his mind, he's lost control. And so bottom line, really, it's only that one reason. Now, the reason why I know this is because all my gay friends, they use them. They don't never lose. They don't happen. So, but with them, it's more like, I guess there are some guys that try to do, bear, but they already know, it's just too risky for that lifestyle. It's too risky. So most of them don't do it because they're trying to live. So, they don't lose. They don't have this problem. Those dudes only have it with women. And so if notice that, then that means that their focus is on controlling the woman and dominating her and using her body to satisfy themselves in a way that they want to. So what I would say to a woman is if you are the man and he tries to insist that you don't do it with the C on, or, you let him do it rather with the C not on, C off, that you kick him out of your bed or you leave. Same thing if he tries to stealth it off, you kick him, you don't do it. Same thing if he, starts trying to beg and manipulate and stuff and talk about how it feels better and this and that. He's safe, he's been tested. I don't give a fuck. Because you could get tested in the morning and then go out and fuck around in the evening, and then the next day, then you have something. Okay, you showing me this test you took yesterday, but what about last night? I don't trust those tests. Those tests don't mean anything. A lot of women put a lot of stock in those tests. I don't give a fuck what kind of test you took. Your ass is gonna wear it, and I don't really care about anything else. Same thing as if if he's trying to do it, and then he, this problem, he got this issue right here, or it's over too fast. All of those things are grounds to kick him out of your bed and out of your life. You know why? Because I'm not about, you single, you're a single woman, right? That's the reason why y'all getting together for a good time in bed, right? What else is there? It's not your man. He's not your husband. You don't have no life commitment with this motherfucker. He's there to do a service. And if he got any of them things going on where he's not going to deliver it in a way that's safe and sound for you and good to you, then get rid of him. There's no reason to stick around and try to coax him and be understanding and all this shit here. I'm not doing all of that. You got a job to do it, motherfucker. And if you can't do it, get the hell out. That's just the bottom line. You know what I mean? But so many women want to make, I was trying to be understanding when he was, I don't give a fuck. Take your limp ass dick and hit the door, get the fuck out of my house. That's what you need to do. Ain't nobody trying to be understanding with you. Go do what you need to do. Eat better, do some exercises, take some pills. I don't give a fuck what it is. But you got to remedy that situation over there somewhere, because over here you done already tore your drawers and the shit's over. We're not doing that. So, that's my take on it. You asked me, you wrote the comment, asked me, and that's my answer, as savage as it may be. I don't have time for men and they issues, they dick issues. That's not my problem, not my concern. I'm not your proctologist or whatever that is, the dick doctor's name is. I don't care. I'm not your wife, and I'm not be understanding and patient with you. Do what you're here to do and do it well, or get out. That's it. Only wives have to deal with that kind of disappointment shit. And that's the downside of being married. You got to sit there and look at them and be like, I have to be understanding of this bullshit right here. But babe, I was tired. I was drunk. I was this, I was that. Yeah, whatever. If shit better not happen again, I tell you that. So, when you're married, you have to give them a chance. You single, you have to give them a chance and kick that motherfucker out. Question number 13. This is a female. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the one I just read. Number 14. This is a male, 22 to 27. He's African-American from Washington, D.C. Summary of issues. She got my name tattooed on her. How the hell do I break up with her now? And Deb, the thing is, we only been dating for 2 months. Our relationship has been like nothing I've ever experienced. It's adventurous, fun, and everything like that. But I started seeing red flags real quick. She's like crazy. Like she's fucking nuts, psycho and shit. And I hate to break it off right before Valentine's Day, but we need to part ways ASAP. I asked her to meet with me with the intention of breaking up with her. And she said she had something to show me. But we were in public. So she showed me a picture, which ended up being a tattoo of my name on her butt cheek with a handprint. I was thinking it was a joke or a temporary sticker or something like kids wear, which actually made her mad. Anyways, it's real. How do you know it's real if you only saw a picture? Sir, wise up. All of my breakups with exclusive relationships have ended amicably. This will be the only one where I anticipate a huge reaction. Given these details, how would you suggest I break up with her? You break up with her and don't give a fuck. First of all, you only saw a picture. Those could be photoshopped. She could have had that and been using that same thing. I mean, you don't know where she got that picture from. Don't be so brand new and naive that you believe that. Okay, Photoshop is amazing. What people who are skilled with Photoshop can do and make stuff look like it's real. Okay, Don't believe that. And secondly, even if she did do it, then who gives a fuck? That was her red wagon to go get something tattooed on her body after knowing somebody for 2 months. What idiot does something like that? But I'm trying to figure out why you felt like you had to meet her in person to break up. Everybody in the world breaks up on the phone or by text these days. Ain't nobody trying to meet in person to break up with somebody. You tripping. You should have handled that, my brother, on the telephone. You don't be going to meet some clown in person so they could stab you and stuff like that, run you down with their car. That's not how you do things. You break up on the phone like everybody else. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna call her and you're gonna say, that was really kind of messed up that you went and got that tattoo. You know how much it's gonna cost you to get it off? I hope you had saved up the money because we breaking up and that is just on your ass is ridiculous. For only to being around each other for 2 months. You was tripping big time. But I'm out. Boop. See ya. That's all you have to do. And then you block her number. You might have to move though. If she took it to your house. But see, this is why you know that you got to be a real player. The motherfucker should not know where you live. You are the player. You as the dude. You don't bring her to your house. You go to her house. That's the number one rule of playerism. They never know where you live. Okay. If you take them somewhere, use a hotel. It's not your house. And she's gonna be like, well, I want to go to your house. You'll be like, no, there's too much going on in my house. My mama's there and this and that. That's not cool. We can't do nothing. I want my mama to hear you screaming. You can make up some shit. But you don't never bring a bitch to your house. Okay? Never. Unless she is like the one. Then you can bring her to your house. But some rando you just met and you've only been dealing with her for 2 months, she should not have known where you live. Okay, I'm giving you some game now. Don't make the same mistake twice. Don't do this in the future. If you ain't been with a broad for at least a year almost, then she don't go to your house. You go to hers. That's how you do it. And then when you deuce out, she can't find you because she won't know where you live. She shouldn't know where you work either. Or if you do, she does. It should be like a secure building where she can't get in without an access badge. I know something. I'm telling you guys, I think I used to be a dude in my former life because it's just all this stuff just comes way too easy. But anyway, don't do this again. Okay. So you won't have this problem. Question number 15. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group. He's Caucasian from the UK. Summary of issue. I left her by herself in a somewhat dangerous situation. How do I apologize? Usually there's no coming back from things like this. Well, let's see what you did. We were vacationing in the tropics. Everything was great until a sudden thunderstorm came into the late evening. I did have an umbrella, however, the weather was severe. Our taxi arrived to our destination. I got out and immediately sought repair. He must mean respite from the heavy rain, leaving her behind. She exited the taxi as well and crossed the road by herself, just like I did, except without an umbrella. She yelled at me. She had never done anything like that before for not helping her out. She said that she couldn't even see because of the rain on her eyeglasses. I gave her a blank stare, immediately realizing how selfish I had been, but unable to say anything other than I'm sorry. Not to justify my behavior or anything, but I just can't stress enough how extreme the rain was. It was so bad that I found it amusing. You hella stupid. And I was actually having a great time watching how heavily it was pouring down. This is a nut. I hadn't seen anything like that before. Even the locals were saying it was much stronger than usual. Needless to say, she didn't find it amusing at all. She was very angry at me. I realized I messed up badly in this situation and that my partner now doesn't trust me anymore. I couldn't help but put my own safety first, completely disregarding hers. I am now wondering what I could do, if anything, to save the relationship. Any advice would be appreciated. Thank you. Okay, if she had any sense, she would never speak to your ass again. First of all, you sitting there like she half drowned in the rain and you sit up there laughing and amazing, all like, woo, this is amazing. And she over there trying to see across the road without getting hit by cars. And you think it's funny. You have one umbrella. It's two of you. You're supposed to like hug her and run across the road with the umbrella shielding both of you. That's what your stupid ass was supposed to do. But no, you didn't do that. And you want to say, I'm sorry. And you put your safety first. And because of a little rain, you don't get scared because of a little rain, a little water. And you're going to go through all these changes and put this girl in that kind of risk when she couldn't see because of the rain on her glasses and it was coming down like crazy and you're the only one with an umbrella. And you think saying I'm sorry is going to save the relationship. I would never speak to your trifling ass again. And I suggest that she understand what kind of man you are, which is an ain't shit motherfucker, and leave your ass alone. Because you don't have the right kind of attitude about. See, remember what I was saying earlier about this? The women talking about I want you to treat me as equal. This is equal right here. I got an umbrella and I made it across the street, so you make it across the street the best way you can. No signs of protecting this, no sign of her safety or concern. I don't want that kind of relationship. I want my man to worry about me and treat me like I'm special and important to him. And if that means it's not 50-50, then so be it. Because I don't want this kind of stuff right here. This would not make me happy at all. To be on my own like this, like I'm a man. And I'm supposed to be in a relationship. So y'all better be thinking about this. I want to be equals. I want to be equals. I don't ever see that as being a satisfying relationship for a woman. Never. Question number 16. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group, mixed race from Montreal, Canada. Sum of issue. Would you date someone who is alone and has no family? Oh, that's like my dream. Are you kidding me? I'm 32 and I had amazing parents, but unfortunately they both died already. I have no siblings. All of my cousins and relatives live abroad and I have no contact with them. I have some friends, so I'm not lonely, but would it be a problem for a potential partner that I have no family at all? I spend holidays by myself and feel like everyone around me has so many relatives, such big families. It does not depend on me. I'm going to say this. If they're like me, they would be like, oh, thank you, Jesus, I hit a gold mine. They'll be happy because you know what? No parents means no in-laws nosing in your business. No relatives means nobody coming over bugging the fuck out of you trying to tell you what to do. Feeling like because they're aunt, uncle, grandparent, and this and that they have some kind of say-so and power. For me, this would be ideal. I would just be like, overjoyed, like singing like Gene Kelly rather, and singing in the rain. You know how he was kicking his heels up and like grabbing on poles and swinging and doing all that stuff here? That would be me, just in joyous moment. So I don't think it's going to be a problem, especially if he has a warm and loving family. They're going to bring you in and treat you just like one of their own anyway. So you're going to have an instant family as soon as you get with them. So I don't understand what the big deal is. Yeah, that's not an issue at all. Especially, I mean, they already died. I mean, what you supposed to do? Resurrect them or something? Adopt them parents? I mean, what the hell? Question number 17. This is a male in the 23 to 27 age group. He's Black from Charlotte, North Carolina. I, 27, asked her 26 out, but shaved before the first date. So I asked a coworker out a few days ago, and she shyly said yes. I had been planning to ask her out much sooner, but I only see her at work, and she wasn't scheduled at all for the week before. In that time, I got a call back from a job I had applied for months ago, and they want an interview on Monday. This is the problem, though. A clean shave, short hair, and a dress shirt and tie are requirements for the interview, and I have to keep a clean shave if I get the job. This is the furthest thing from the style I had when I asked this girl out, and I'm afraid she'll 360 and moonwalk away from the shot of seeing my baby smooth face. You are funny. I like to think she's into my personality because I'm into hers, but I'm still sweating over it because what else do you do with your free time? Have any of the dudes that you've known been in this situation before? How did it go? I don't know. Let me think. Oh. Ladies of the squad, does the beard really matter that much to you? Would you still be into a guy whose style changed overnight if everything else was the same? I was thinking about that. Who did I know who had? I think he had a mustache and he shaved it off. I'm trying to think who that was. But the only reason that it wasn't because he shaved it off is because he looked weird. Because the mustache, he had like a duck lip. He had this lip that just was not cute. So I'm sitting there looking at this duck lip and I'm thinking, this ain't happening, Captain. I don't know what's going on. You should have kept that mustache. God, I can't remember that dude's name because it was like the one date wonder. We had the one date, he had the duck lip thing, and I was like, oof. And that was the end of that because I couldn't stand looking at it. So, I mean, I know that's not helping you answer your question, but I mean, as long as you have a nice looking face, you know what I mean? it should be okay. Like when my husband, I'm telling you, the first day he had this bushy, like Wolfman lumberjack beard, and it just looked a hot mess. And I was just like, I just did not like it. It just looked like birds could nest in that sucker. I know, I just was not, I didn't like it at all. And then when my brother told him, and he shaved it down just so he had just this, and all of this was gone, I could see that he actually had dimples, which you couldn't see under all that fuzz and stuff. So he came and picked me up and he smiled, and I was like, oh shit, wait a minute. And so after that, I liked him because he was, he was very attractive. I mean, he's a nice guy. He treated me well on the first date. It's just that he had all this. And it just looked, I just was scared. I just could see bacteria growing under my eyes. I just couldn't take it. And so he got rid of all of that. And he just had this right here because my brother told him that's what I like. So that's what he shaved it down to. And then I was in love, and the rest was history. I don't like them big ass beard. That look was in you. The dudes had them, what I call pharaoh beards, the long, pointy beards. I didn't like that look either. I'm glad that went out of style. Yeah, that was nasty. I don't know. Them big beards like that just make me think about bacteria, vermin, insects, lice, stuff like that. I just don't think that that's sexy at all. It's scary. It's like, I don't want to look at all of that. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to question number 18 of 25. Thanks everybody for coming through spending Saturday evening with me. Normally the show is supposed to be on Wednesdays. Well, it started off on Tuesdays and it went to Wednesdays. Now we don't read on Saturdays because that's as soon as I can get my stuff together. But if you're not a subscriber, this is the moment when you should hit that subscribe button and hit that instant notification bell so you can be part of the crew, the squad rather. Question 8. Okay, she's 22 to 27 in Arizona. Summary of issues. Some questions on relationship to get perspective. I have a few questions to ask. Number 1, if you live with your partner for a few years, would there be an expectation of them to be familiar with your life schedule, i.e., when you start and finish work? As an example, would you think it's not your responsibility to wake them up if they overslept for work? Well, let me read them both and then I'll go back and answer. Number 2, can you ever be a priority to someone? Is it okay, in your opinion, for a partner to say that while they are at work, work takes priority unless it's a medical emergency on your side? Okay, let's start with question number 1, 22 to 27. You asking stupid ass questions. Okay, you live for a few years. They should know your life schedule. Yes, they should. When to start and finish work, they should know that. Would you think it's not your responsibility to wake them up if they overslept for work? I would probably wake them up and say, do you have the day off or something? Why are you still sleeping? And if they say, yeah, I had the day off, then I'll just say, okay, and then let them roll back to sleep. But if I knew what time they're supposed to get up and 10 or 15 minutes past that they still weren't awake, I would be, bothered, and I would probably ask them if I was still at home. If not, then whatever. Their number, but is it my responsibility? No, I would just be doing it just out of the kindness of my heart. As adults, we're responsible for ourselves. So no, it's not your responsibility. It's just a nice gesture though. Number 2, can you ever be a priority to someone? Is it okay in your opinion for a partner to say that while they're at work takes priority? Absolutely. You know why? Because they're getting paid to work, not cater to your little snowflake ass. So yes, it's okay for him to say that. And then for you and vice versa too, because your employer is paying you to work, not cater to someone else that's not on the clock. Okay, other than a medical emergency, that's right. Because then they could say, oh, so-and-so is being rushed to the hospital. So-and-so got in an accident. So-and-so suffered a seizure. I got to go to the hospital and see about them. Then they would leave work. But other than that, work is work. And you need to get over yourself and then just let it go. You shouldn't even be calling your person while they're at work. We never did that shit. It's like, if when you leave work or lunch or something, then yeah, on break or whatever. But while they're working, no, you don't do that. If you that much of you need that much attention and stuff, then get you a little emotional support dog and call it a day. Question number 19. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group, mixed race from Maryland. Summary of issue. My girlfriend is obsessed with my ex. My girlfriend is 19 and is obsessed with my ex in ways that are ruining our relationship. As background, my dad is Black military and my mom is European, so I am used to being around non-Black women, but my girlfriend is Black. At the start of our relationship, I fell for her trap of, quote, tell me everything, it's okay, you dummy. But since then, things have been relaxed in that regard up until recently, which is almost a year later. She started obsessing about my ex. Just to be clear, I have not mentioned my ex, and she's literally blocked my number and my every social app. But recently, it turns out that she knows where my ex lives and where she's from, and a lot of FBI level shit. And now she started relating a lot of things to my ex. Not only that, but she also comparing things with her. It got too ridiculous that even when I mentioned something about the country where my ex was from, Russia, big ass Russia, and it was completely unrelated to women, she got upset and wouldn't even talk to me, saying that she wishes I married her so she would never met me. Wow. I promise you, I don't mention anything about my ex or even think slightly about her, but somehow she's obsessed with her. It got to the point of, I bet you said that to her whenever I say loving words. I don't know what to do. Sweet talk seems to make things worse. Ignoring the subject also doesn't help. Trying to tell her things like how she's the only girl in my heart and mind apparently make it way worse. She's upset now. We're supposed to be going on a date tomorrow. Can you help guide me through this hot mess, please? Yes, you tip down and tell her, look here, bitch. We're not going to do this shit no more. See, you got to man up on her. That's what you're not doing. You're just running around like milquetoast. And that's not the way you're going to be dealing with a sister like this. You got to sit her down and say, look here, you got two choices. Either you stop this shit because it's stupid and it makes you look stupid. And this is not what the crew I got with. I didn't expect to have to deal with nobody who was acting stupid like this. Or we're through. So either that's your two choices. You stop and we stay together, or you keep going and we split up. Which one do you want? Because this is it. This is the final day of this bullshit right here. We're not gonna keep doing this. I'm not going through these changes with you. You're not gonna be talking about some bitch that blocked me and stuff, and I don't have shit to do with. You have more interaction with her than I do. You care more about her than I do. So why don't you go date her? Since that's what seems to be what you want to be, having so much contact with her and shit. So that's what you want. So you pick. And that's how you do. And then if she said, well, I can't stop and this and that, or she says she's going to stop and then she brings that one more time, you have to cut her off. Cut her off immediately. Be a man of your word and say, if we do this shit again, we're through. Then if she does again, you do it. That's the main problem I have with people, these modern folks. Y'all say stuff, but you don't back it up with action. You have to mean what you say and then do what you mean. Do what you say you're going to do. Back it up so that she knows that you mean business. But this here, you should have been shut this down. I don't even know about the first weeks of this shit. You should have shut this down. You're running around talking about, what do I do to solve it? You just tell her just what I said. I'm not dealing with this bullshit. Simple ass shit right here. You're going to do this shit by your damn self. That's what's going to happen because I'm not putting up with this shit. You better pull out your black side and consult your daddy on how to be a black man and rise up. You don't be taking no shit like this from nobody. Okay? You just being like weak here. I'm not feeling it. Letting her run over you like this. She's insecure, but that's not his problem. You know what I mean? He can't fix her insecurity and he shouldn't even try. As a man, it's not your job to cater to insecure ass women. Okay, they need to go see a shrink for that shit. And ladies, the same thing. You got an insecure ass man, he need to go see a shrink too. That's not your job to fix him. Okay, people's insecurities and weaknesses, that's their red wagon. You don't have nothing to do with it. You didn't make them insecure. And you're not going to fix it either unless that's your field of work and you want to do some free therapy. I mean, there are people that are in that line of work and I'm sure they date and marry too. But, the whole thing is that you a little young student and stuff, you don't have that skill set and you didn't say anything about you studying that line of work either. So that means it's outside of your range of expertise, outside your skill set. This is nothing for you to fool with. So you send her on her merry way and get you a bitch sane next time. Oh, shit here. That's some bullshit. Question number 20. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's Black from Philly. Summary issue. I found out my boyfriend hid his felony charge from me. Oh, this sounds juicy. I found out that my boyfriend hid his felony conviction from me. I found after a chance encounter with a client and her husband who previously knew him. I tactfully and kindly asked my boyfriend tonight that if ever was he going to tell me, and he said if it ever came up. Better yet, he knew that I broke up with my ex because of his old dealing past, to which I didn't judge initially, but my ex eventually wanted to get back into the business, and to which we subsequently broke up. I love him still, and he seems like a changed man, but when I brought it up, he got moody, upset, and wouldn't talk much to me. I'm at odds with myself, and I can't decide if it's a deal breaker or not. You 28 to 34. Well, it just depends on your values. Now, do you want to be with a man who lies to you and withholds important information like that? Because you know, with a felony conviction for drug possession and dealing, that's going to follow him the rest of his life. There's going to be a whole bunch of things, opportunities that are going to be denied to him because of the type of conviction that he has. Are you prepared to deal with that? Do you want a man who's behind the 8 ball already, so far behind that he's going to rarely be able to get out unless he starts his own business? Because, you know, they're going to do that background check and they're going to figure that out. And people are going to feel like, well, he's going to get back into that line of work. That's what a general assumption is. And most of the time that is what happens. Are you prepared to deal with that? Are you prepared to support him or, you know, visit him in prison if he gets locked back up again? Are you really in the mind where you want to date a man that, you know, that doesn't tell you the full truth, so that you can make a fully informed decision about whether you want to be with him? He manipulates you by withholding facts from your, factual knowledge that would make you probably not choose him in spite of your, history with a similar individual. See, I would think about it like that. And for me, this wouldn't work. I wouldn't trust him anymore. I feel like, if you withheld that kind of information, what else is you hiding to try to manipulate me into being with you, pretending to be this good little guy that you're really not? So that's how I would think about it. And I wouldn't care about love. Because like I always tell y'all, Deb loves Deb more than Deb loves anybody. And I would see where being with you would be an uphill battle and would fuck up my life. You got to go, homie. Can't do it. Most we could do is be occasional acquaintances. We can't even be friends. Acquaintances means if I see you out, I'll say, hey, what's happening? And then I'll keep it moving. I don't want to be affiliated with no felons, especially that kind. So you think about it and you decide, because, you might have a different attitude about it than me, but you ask my opinion and that's what I would do. He would have to go. That's why he's moody, because he's knowing what's coming. He's trying to be like hoping that she doesn't have the mentality that I do, and she might not. Question number 21 of 25 questions on this wonderful Saturday night in February. We was originally going to do our 12, 8-hour line out, whatever, live stream tomorrow, but I got so much heat. Y'all complain so much. I got so many hate emails and messages on Instagram. Well, why you put it on Super Bowl Sunday? I want to go, but I have to watch the game because my Chiefs is playing. My Niners is playing. I'm like, when are y'all get interested in football? But anyway, so I got so many complaints, I moved it to the end of the month. So there's nothing, no holidays, no games, no nothing coming. So everybody should be happy and able to come. So like I said, hit the subscription button so that you get the instant notification, remind you just in case you forgot, because it's going to start early, way earlier than I usually start. So we are going to the evening. And it's going to be like hours and hours of me talking about random things. And you guys talking, joining in too. So it should be fun. Question number 21. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from San Mateo, California. Summary of issue: I am tired of my husband. Well, I bet you are. I'm 21, stuck in a marriage with a 22-year-old man that I thought I wanted. I am married to a man-child. We have one baby together. The biggest problem in our relationship is my husband's addiction to video games. It's been a problem for the 4 years that we've been together. I know I was stupid, but I would always compromise with him. These compromises never fixed the problem. It's got to a point where I started to resent him. About 8 months ago, I started saying mean things, and this, quote, caused, end quote, him to emotionally cheat on me with a coworker. This broke my heart, but immediately cut him off. I had to live with my mother as I was financially dependent on my husband, so I didn't have any income. Either way, I was happy being single. Then, about 6 months of separation, my husband came crawling back. He wanted me back, and he proved to me with actions that his priority was my son and me. Apparently, for the whole 6 months we were separated, he didn't play any video games. I thought that giving him a chance was fair, and he took me back. Well, it's back to the same habits. Actually, his habits are worse. He works night shift, so he's not home during the night. When he comes home, he's straight on the game. He'll play for half the day, and then he'll go to sleep and won't make any time to spend with my son and me. On his days off, he'll play all night, so I'm alone in bed. I'm in school night now. I should hopefully be finishing soon. The job I am studying for will sustain my son and me well. My goal is to finish and divorce him. I'm just tired of this. He can't even clean after himself. He leaves giant messes that I'm drained of cleaning, and I plan on staying single for the rest of my life. Did I sound unfair? Please let me know. Nope. It's unfortunate, you guys, you're 21 to 22 years old, and you've been with this man for 4 years. You didn't even give yourself a chance to grow up and really, for you two to really form who you were going to be as an adult. You were like kids, and then you went and got married. I would never advise anybody that young to get married. You don't even know who you are yet. And as you see, the person that he's chosen to become, and you with your goals and stuff are no longer compatible. That's why you don't get married that young. The 20s is a time of development. You're going to spend all those years like trying to figure out what you want to do with yourself, who you are, how you're going to roll in the world. All those kind of major decisions are being made in your 20s. That's why the people really shouldn't even think about getting married till they're in the late, maybe 28, 29 to early 30s is even better. Because by then, your career start, you finished with school, you got in your career settled, you got some money saved up, maybe, you've done a few things, you've dated around, you've traveled, you've done some stuff so that you're a full-fledged adult. You know who you want to be. You know more about yourself as a person. You can go into your 30s confident about, what you want to do with your life and the direction that you want to take, and the person that will be compatible with you as this new person that you have determined yourself to be as you went through after all that development of your 20s. You never get married at 20, 21 years old. It's just too soon. Those marriages don't really work. So now that you are finding out who you're going to be as an adult, you look at him and you say, this ain't who I want to be with. And you're right, because he hasn't grown up yet. So I'm going to say this. You're not being unfair. You gave him a chance, and he's right back to doing what he thinks he's doing, taking you for granted. So make sure that when you leave, you file for child support and visitation. I don't even know if he should have visitation, because if you have a young child and he just wants to play video games all the time, chances are the kid would be in a dangerous situation in the house by itself while he sat there playing video games. So I'm not really sure how that would even work either. But to give that some thought and talk that over when you get your attorney in the courts, let them know that that's his lifestyle and that's your concern, because the kid is too young to take care of itself. So maybe he should have supervised visits for, until the kid is older and more independent. And they will take that into consideration. So that's why we're getting divorced, because it's video game addiction. Let's move on to question number 22 of 25. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Summary of issue. I was asked for reimbursement after rejecting a guy after 2 dates. Loser. This is a what would Deb do question. I'm 27. I went on a first date with a guy who is 24 off of a swipey thing. Okay, why would you date a younger man at 27? What is wrong with you girls? Okay, young 20-year-old dudes in their 20s are silly. Okay, you date older, not younger, and then they might have some sense. But at 27, you should be dating a dude 30, 32, somewhere in that range, not younger. Younger men are in their 20s are just dumb, and they all know it. Okay, so she met him on a swipey thing. He suggested the restaurant that we met at. During our meal, he ordered several shareable plates and 2 drinks for himself and 1 for me. Afterwards, we shared dessert. It was a nice date, and we ended up going out for a second time. That date was significantly less enjoyable, though. It was obvious that we had very different political and primarily social views. At one point, he made a snide remark about some non-English speakers at the same restaurant as us as being, quote, illegal immigrants. Wow. Wow. On a shallower level, he was a terrible, she put that in caps, kisser, LOL. The day after our second date, I texted him to let him know that I was appreciative of his efforts on our 2 dates, but I wasn't interested in moving forward with things. Very good. He expressed a disconcerting level of emotional reaction and then said, quote, I feel played. I would like you to Venmo me half of what I paid for our first date. I'm absolutely shocked and find it insane that in dating scenarios where success rates are 50-50, that a guy would demand his money back after an unsuccessful dating endeavor. How would you handle this situation, Deb? Venmo. I've never used Venmo. Is it like Zelle? I'm assuming that it is. I've used Zelle before. I would send, if he let him tell him to send you a bill for how much it is, not paying for his second drink and then plates of food that he ordered that you didn't ask for, just for your part. And then I would send him, don't pay it, and then send him a bill back for all the money that you spent on getting your hair done, getting your nails done, getting your new outfit, your transportation costs, all the stuff. Send him a bill for that and say, look, looks like you owe me. Why don't we just call it a wash and both go our merry ways? Because you seem to have forgotten when you go on a date, it creates an opportunity. It's no guarantee of shit. It's an opportunity. And you showed yourself to be like, what would be the word? It's not racist. Maybe it is racist. What would the word when you calling somebody referring to somebody just because they're a different ethnicity as an illegal immigrant? What would the word for that be? Whatever that is, that's what he is. I can't think right now, but you showed yourself to be that type of person, and that's not the kind of person I want to affiliate with. Your snide remark about illegal immigrants was very off-putting and disgusting. I would say that to him. And you can't kiss for shit. So, men who can't kiss usually can't screw either. So I'm not even about to set myself up for that kind of disappointment. I would have to say stuff like that to him and talk about send me some money. I'll send you the little fucking $20 or whatever it is, but I'm going to hurt every feeling that you ever had first. So when you get that little money, you going to wish you hadn't asked me for that shit. Yeah, we don't. But I would have to tell him about himself, because he's just thinking that he's some kind of fucking prize. Like you're a 24-year-old ignorant loser. That's what you are. You can't kiss. I'm telling you, there's no sensuality in the kissing. That means he can't fuck. That's what that means. So you girls that when we trying to deal with these dudes that can't kiss, leave his ass alone. Because you're not going to have a good time. Once you do the horizontal mamba, it's not going to happen for you. You're going to be mad. So just leave his ass alone. It's true. You down there laughing. What's it called? Venophobic? Oh, bigot. Yes. Well, those all work for me. That he's those things. Anyway, saying some nasty ass shit like that. That's just disgusting behavior. So it shows you he's ignorant. And then, then he can't kiss. So, and then he's cheap too. So that's a trifecta of fail. He's a failure as a man. And there's nobody, then you see why he's single. He gonna stay that way. Because any woman worth her salt is not gonna want to fuck with him. So you ask how I would handle it, that's how I would handle it. I would just read him first. Then whatever my part was, I'll pay for my part. I'd send him my part because I don't want to hear his mouth. Like I said, I would have to crack his face first because that would make me feel better. But I would send him like $20 or something, whatever my plate of food was for the first date, not the second one. He's on the hook for that. Question number 23. This is the female in the 22 to 27 from Indianapolis. Summary of issue. Is it okay to just be friends after expressing my interest? No. No, it is not. But let's see what kind of bullshit you trying to pull. So I was talking to my bestie guy friend, and he introduced me to his friend. Deb, this friend is drop dead gorgeous. I mean, super cute and quite funny. Though I talked to my friend who finally decided to let me meet him, it's not going to happen, though, because he said I am attractive and very nice and funny, etc., but he is terrified of women. Okay. I was wondering why he couldn't look at me in the eyes for very long, but I thought it was because I had the sun behind me. Is it okay to still be his friend even though he can't be with me romantically? My bestie, my bestie also eventually told me too, but he just thought I knew that when we all met up. Hold on a second. I guess all my talking is getting to my throat. Okay. Like, is that being too much? My girlfriend said it's not even worth it anyways, since he already knows that I like him, but I just found him attractive and then got to know him. I find him quite interesting and I don't have many friends, so it'd be fun to make another one. We mostly talk on the phone since we don't go to the same school and we're not even in the same state. He says he finds me less scary to talk to now. We hang out just fine too, but I've only met him once in person. I just have to refrain from complimenting him as much since he said it fills him with anxiety. Is this pushing him too hard? I don't want to seem pushy since I got told that a lot and I'm trying to do better. Yes, leave this boy alone. Chances are, he's trying to be polite, but he's probably gay. And he just don't want to tell you, but you just being an insistent heifer, gonna be calling him and stalking him and complimenting him and all this other shit here, just acting all desperate and shit. Like there's no other man in this world. You just have to chase a man who's already told you he's not interested. What is wrong with you? And you think that you're going to be sneaking into his life trying to quote under the guise of friendship? You on some bullshit right now. Respect his no and leave him the fuck alone. This is ridiculous. If you were my daughter, I'd be slapping the shit out of you right now. Because you on some bullshit. The boy told you no. This is the same thing it would be in reverse. If a girl told a guy that she's not interested, she's scared of men or whatever, and he gonna insist on being her friend and calling her all the time and complimenting her all the time and trying to worm his way into her life under the guise of friendship. It's exactly the same shit in reverse. But you just doing way too much here. It's very disrespectful too. You insisting on getting what you want out of him with no regard for the fact that he told you no. Listen to respect people's no's. I don't care if you're male or female. If somebody tells you no, back the fuck off. Okay, leave him alone. He didn't look at you because your ass is ugly and stupid. That's the real reason right there. Because the sun was behind me. He wasn't looking at you because you're not a guy. Okay, he's not trying to look at you. You got titties. He's not interested in your ass. Can't you read the room? You can't read the room. You don't understand about that. You need to understand now you're getting older. You're going to run into a lot of dudes like that. They like guys. They don't like girls. He's trying to be polite to your dumbass because you're friends with his male buddy. But he's not interested in you. Leave him the fuck alone. Question number 24. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group. He's white from Scotland. Summary of issue. How do I, a 27-year-old male, get a girlfriend under my circumstances? Hello, ladies. I'm a 27-year-old white male. I work full-time and I have a full-time income, but I can't drive. I'm overweight. I'm living with my parents and saving up for a mortgage. I live in a small town in Scotland. I have a cat, but no debt. All I want in life is to settle down with a girlfriend. How do I achieve this with my current circumstances? Any ideas? You live in a small town in Scotland. Get you a bicycle and start riding it. Put you some running shoes and start running them dirt roads in the small town in which you live. Drop that meat and build some muscles. Do some push-ups and pull-ups and shit. Some squats, walking lunges. Get your body together. Then look in the mirror. What's that mug looking like? Do you need a shave? Do you need a haircut? Is your skin fucked up? If it is, do something about it and get rid of the pimples and all the shit. Clean up your complexion, okay? You got some money, but you can't drive. Why not? They don't have driving lessons in Scotland. You can't learn to drive. You can't get yourself some kind of little raggedy car. That's like the basics of adulthood, is to have your own vehicle and your own place to live. I understand you staying with your parents while you save up to buy a house. If they're okay with it, I mean, that makes perfect sense. Do I pay rent if you don't have to? But the rest of this is all it's under your control. You should get the car before you get the house so that you have something to pack your stuff in when you're ready to leave and drive away from your parents' house with it. Right? That's what you should do. And then if you drive and you have a vehicle and you start trying to date, then you can get to her. You can pick her up for the dates. How you gonna date somebody and you don't have no vehicle? What, you gonna put her on the bike, handlebars on the bicycle or some shit? That don't work. You're 27 years old. Okay, you're on the downstroke to 30. People, the handlebar riding days is over, so skillet. Do something with yourself. So the first manner of business is, like I said, get you some running shoes and or a bicycle, and that's gonna use your exercise. And then you're going to use some of the money you saved up, and you're gonna get yourself a car. It don't have to be expensive, it don't have to be fancy, but it has to be, a dependable car and look nice, okay? Because you're gonna be picking up girls and trying to go on dates. She's not gonna want to get in no bucket with all dented up and with different color fenders and stuff. That's not gonna work. So get yourself a nice little car. You learn how to drive, get your driving lessons, get your car, and then you'll be ready. You get yourself in shape, and if you do what I tell you, within about 6 months, you'll be more marketable, and women will start to look at you. Once they start looking at you, you'll be able to get numbers and have dates. But, sitting around at home, all big and fat and with no vehicle and stuff, I'm like trying to figure out what you think you're going to do. I'm just, I don't know. I don't understand. Is this the kind of thing, his parents should have told him this. This is what a father should be doing. Saying, son, I know you want this. You want to, move forward with your life and you want to have a mate. But you have to prepare for a mate and you have to be ready to handle the responsibilities of having one. That means that you have to get yourself together. Having a house is good, but you can't pick up a date with a house. You got to have a vehicle. Jesus Christ. Yeah, not even yeah. I mean, he don't. At least if he had a hoop, he could pick her up, but he don't even have that. It makes life difficult. Question number 25. This is our last question of the night, and oh my God, it looks long. Okay, this is a young man in the 22 to 27 age group. He's African American from Memphis, Tennessee. Summary of issue: I got blocked an hour after my first date. What the hell did you do? Okay, let's see. I'm sorry, that was funny though. I came across your videos on Twitch, and you are funny as hell as well as smart. I need to get your take on something that happened to me. As the summary says, I got blocked literally an hour after a date. I have been talking to this girl for a bit. She seemed to check all the boxes and things were going well. She was making it clear that she was really into me. Had conversations about communication styles and talked about how against she is with love bombing, ghosting, hookups, and whatnot. Fast forwarding to yesterday night, we go on a date, and it was evidently clear that she was having a good time, at least according to her. She was saying how much of a good time she was having and complimenting me and even engaging with holding hands. Sure, things might have seemed awkward at times, but she acknowledged that she loved moments of silence and was enjoying my presence and her time with me. The date ends. We say our goodbyes. I even jokingly said, "Don't ghost me." Well, and head home. I check over my phone and text her 30 minutes later. Unbeknownst to me, I check her Instagram and I'm blocked. I tried to text her on the message and my texts weren't going through and also blocked. So now I'm here confused and hurt. I know this may seem like a minor thing, but I've never had anyone just flat out block me with no explanation after a supposedly successful date. I'm mad at myself for even letting this affect me the way it is, but I just need some comfort or some sort of reassurance that this is normal in dating. Prior to this, I've had numerous failed attempts with dating the past couple of months, and this specific incident has kind of exhausted me of it all. I'm starting to believe it's on me, and I've been losing confidence within myself. I know I shouldn't be taking it personally, but it's hard after getting blindsided like this. How do I get rid of this new fear of getting to know anybody at all for it to just blow up right in front of me in such a short amount of time? Not sure how I should proceed with everything now. You should continue doing what you're doing. I'm going to tell you what happened. A lot of men don't take rejection well. They go crazy. They lose it. They threaten violence. Some of them actually resort to violence. So the best way for a woman, a young woman who's by herself with a relative stranger, which is what you were, to get back home in one piece is to lie. To lie and say that she's having a good time, that you're interesting and funny, and all these silences where we're not talking and you're sitting here like a rock or okay. I mean, that's what's going to happen. because of the way that your peers have behaved. It's made women all over the world afraid to say what they really feel because of the terror that, something's going to happen to them. They'll end up hurt. That's why she did that. It's not to say that she didn't really like the date and all of that. I'm not going to say that. But what I'm just saying is it wasn't enough for her to want to do it again. Okay. So put this in, you got to reframe this, because you're looking at it like a combination of your entire essence and your very soul. Whereas it's just, you just didn't do it for her. And that's fine. That's okay. I'm sure you've had dates where the woman thought it was a good date and you were like, oh, hell to the no, I don't want to see this happen no more. It happens in the dating. Well, that's part of dating. It's the reality that you just have to deal with. Everybody that you think you click with is not going to be clicked with in return. Okay. A lot of times it's just, you feeling something and they're not feeling it. That's fine. My other suggestion to you is, no matter how the girl acts on the date, and except she says, reframe this as well. You put too much on it. Your expectations were way too high. It's like you were sitting there thinking, well, this is going to be something, and we're going to morph this into a boyfriend girlfriend relationship. So I don't know. You just had a lot of feelings involved with somebody that you were just going on a first date with. And so it's like, I'm trying to figure out where all that comes from. The first date is like a meet and greet. You don't really know each other. You're just feeling each other out. It's no big deal. You shouldn't anticipate to have any kind of expectations of anything, not even of a second date, because it may not happen. It was an opportunity. Y'all took it and you went on a little date and got to talk to each other and stuff like that. But most of the time, that's where it ends. Sometimes it's not like anything that bad happened. There's nothing wrong with you. You just don't do it for that person. And that sometimes some women, especially young ones, they're looking for the butterflies in the stomach and the bells will ring and it'd be a Disney moment. And when it doesn't happen, they get disappointed. So they move on to the next guy. It could be something as simple as that. Is it silly? Yes, but it is what it is. So you just accept it and move on. Now, if you can manage that and stop condemning yourself down to your very toenails and just go out with people with no expectations of anything other than to just, show up and have a good time, enjoy the conversation, enjoy the food, enjoy the things that are tangible that you can see and feel. Okay. Now all these emotions and expectations and anticipations and stuff, see, those are intangibles. You don't control those and you don't have any power in that situation. The person's going to either feel you or they not. There's nothing you can do about it. Okay. It doesn't sound like you did or said anything, untoward or disrespectful unless you left something out. I'm thinking it just, you just didn't turn her on, and that's fine, because people like different things. People are attracted to different things, and it's just as simple as that. Okay. Because I'm telling you, remember that date I told you all that I went on, the couple that I knew hooked me up with, a dude was just fine. I mean, just ridiculous, just insane, just tall, dark, handsome, driving, successful, money, driving his drop top BMW. I was in love with his car anyway. And he picked me up and I was like, ooh, this is my dream car. I just know I couldn't afford the maintenance or probably the payments either, but I just dream. And then, so we go to the restaurant. The restaurant is nice. It's one of my favorite places to go. And we sitting there and everybody's looking at us because we make a striking couple because I'm cute. And he was fly as hell. So I'm like, oh, this could be interesting. And they, like I said, they've been set up by a couple that I know. They knew him and they knew me. And they thought we would be really good together. Well, this is the one I made a video about him. Because the way everything was good except for his communication style. And it was a combination of questioning, but it was negative questioning. I bet you don't do this and that, right? So it was constantly I noticed my feelings. I tuned in. I felt irritated at first, but then I slowed down and I tuned in. And I felt like it was a challenge. It was like he was trying to make me prove myself or something. It was just the weirdest thing. And I didn't like it. And so I told him I didn't like it. I said, I don't know what the hell you're trying to do here, but you want to ask these kind of questions. If you have a question to ask me, ask it, but don't be asking in this way where you try to, it's a subtle put down or some kind of negation of my choices in my life, I don't appreciate that kind of communication. And I'm not going to take it from you or anybody else. And this is at the restaurant. And that's what happens, when you get old, you tune into shit and you know shit and you just don't have any problems speaking your mind, because I don't give a fuck about this motherfucker either. So then, so he shut down. And I mean, we finished our meal and everything. And after that, so we're just looking at him like on paper, we would have been like an ideal power couple. I mean, just like too fabulous, too cute. Everything would have been great. But his way of talking to me was such a goddamn turnoff that when I left that restaurant, I never wanted to see him again. And I told the wife, I was like, I told her what happened. She said, "What? He talked to you like that?" And so she got it. Her husband was like, "What's the big deal?" And I'm like, "Never mind. You don't need to understand." The wife understood. And she's like, "I can't believe he did that to you." I'm like, I don't think he even understood what he was doing. It seemed like that's the way he is used to talking to people, because it just happened too easily. But I'm not down with that, because I think I'm so fabulous. It's like, if you can't talk to me in a way that acknowledges my wonderfulness, at least be neutral, then, I'm not going to be on the defensive. I'm not going to be explaining nothing about myself. I'm not going to be defending my choices, my lifestyle, my intelligence, nothing. I'm not going to do it, because who the fuck are you? And so he wasn't used to being talked to like that. So of course he, was taken aback, and I'm sitting there offended like fuck. And so it was just, it didn't end well. So, I mean, sometimes it's just like that. I mean, it started off fabulous, but it deteriorated because of this one major thing. Because, you got to communicate with your partner like all the time. And if that's going to be the way that he was choosing to talk to me, it was not going to work. It was going to be it was already a turn off, and it was just nothing he could do to fix it, because I was turned off. And Leos, once we get turned off, the switch don't never go back on. It's off forever. And so there you go. It could be something like that. Yeah, he just had to mess it up. He just had to mess it up. But, in his mind, it was me, because I was just too demanding and our standards are too high or whatever. But I just, I had got to the couple first. So his story came after mine, but so they already knew what happened. But yeah, that was really interesting. So I'm telling you that long-winded story, my brother, so that you understand dating is like that. I mean, you just never know what is going to be the trigger for someone else, and what you may have done or said, or maybe, like I said, it wasn't anything, that you just didn't turn her on, that she was looking for, a fairy tale ending, and there wasn't one. So we just don't really know. But the bottom line is, it didn't work. Move on to the next one, and don't take it personally. Don't never take anything that happens on a date personally. Don't indict yourself. Don't feel bad about it. Don't question your worth and all this kind of stuff. I mean, the person just like a job interview. Some of them you get the job you offer, and some of them you don't. You don't go condemning your whole life and your whole essence and your soul because you don't get the job offer, do you? Or get the apartment that you applied for, get the loan that you applied for. I understand that men can deal with that kind of rejection all the time. But if a woman rejects them, they lose their minds. It's just crazy to me. But anyway, yes, let me get off my soapbox and turn y'all loose so you can enjoy the rest of your weekend. We got the 3-day weekend, and the Super Bowl is tomorrow. So the next time I see you guys, hopefully the 49ers will be the champions. Even though I really don't care who wins, because I ain't betting no money. But anyway, you guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you one day next week. I don't know which one, but one of them. Ta-ta!